Do I?
A man, Lord, Machiavelli production. Notorious M.A.D. Lil Chad and Slender Dad vibing straight bustin' no cap. Friday night screen lit fame hitting all lap. Culture thick, no yeet from the trap. YouTube grind, minds locked in so we adapt. Brahma bull cackling loud, bourbon on the rocks. Scheming like the goat, comedy unlocks. Mad shit smoke, cold as ice, won't fold. YouTube legend verdicts drip sharp like a judge's code. Skirt, skirt that, skirt, tat that. Ascending crew, let's get it. Stack them racks, laughs hit diffy. Dumb fates can't match these facts. Popcorn, popping chill vibes, brew sipping slow. Prime time screens live, we slap, we glow. Now that we're pulling up clean, double the cup of the lean. Shit supreme from the H to the Bay. Third ward holding it down. Crew lights the fuse, blazing wild, no snooze. Voices boom loud, screens pop and set the cruise. Grind levels up, shine hits, claim that juice. Rise quick, savage, laughter high, can't lose. Put a skirt that. Skirt tat that. We here to break the mold, eat the basic behind. With tales that slap and laughter intertwined. A quest to marvel where drip defies. In this lit realm, only passion flies. Skirt, skirt that. Skirt tat that. Ascending squad goes hard, blazing trails we pursue. Laughs hit like heat, dumb vibes getting cooked anew. Popcorn lit, locking tight, roll swift, no lack. Prime stream zooms, global tap, we stack. Skirt, skirt that, skirt tat that. OM's here, yo.
Skirt.
The lazy transition after the M's here too, the song's done, but we just aren't done with the video yet. Is nice stuff here. Let's get things.
What the?
He's the co-host.
I worked.
Yeah, but
so hard.
If we're going left to right, it's
there. We go. All right, there we go. If there were more people, you'd be third as they continue to fill in below.
Wow. Okay. What do you think, Slender?
I like it. It's not my favorite.
I got other versions that I'm working on.
There's so many versions.
There
are a couple versions that, like, honestly though, like on the Tuesday night, the Matapaps.
Yeah.
Those get me jamming sometimes. Like I'll be tapping the toes while I'm sitting here, like bobbing the head.
I guess I came up with this skirt thing. I'm like, oh, well, I'm gonna have to use this immediately.
Skirt, skirt. The only thing I should have also had it put in random smoke detector chirps here and there.
Maybe.
Have the song end with one.
Nice. I still was it what? All right, culture talking. All right, so in the channel, the show group chat, I said we're going to be talking Sinners, Amateur, Mobland, episode 3. Culture comes in with how about the Vegas meetup? Correct me if I'm wrong. Slender, did you go to the Vegas meetup?
I did not go to the Vegas meetup.
Mad, did you go to the Vegas meetup?
Absolutely not.
Imp, did you go to the Vegas meetup?
You couldn't pay me.
And I know I didn't, so I don't know why we would all be talking about something we weren't at.
And the only reason I said what I said is there's way too many people in Vegas for my liking.
Yeah, I don't care for that. Yeah.
I don't care for Vegas or what it presumably stands for. Vegas.
I don't give a shit about that.
Vegas can kick rocks as far as I'm concerned. Fuck Vegas.
I mean, I'm really glad. It seems to be the biggest, of our sphere meetup that gets done. But at the same time, Brahma was trying to convince me recently.
That was some funny shit.
And he's like, "Oh no, it's only like $500-600 round trip." I'm like,
"Shit,
no."
I think they do DEF CON in Vegas too, and I've had the opportunity.
Mr. Double Wide bathroom there, thinking everybody's got the fundage that he does.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, apparently, Mr.
Just based on the fact that it's in Vegas, I'd never go. Right? Like, just no. I would sooner go to something in Texas or
Yep,
even
the
like
Dallas.
Los Angeles or something. And
Yeah.
I
You'd
sure
go
as
to
shit don't want to
LA
go to
over
California.
Vegas.
Yes, any day of the week.
You are.
I
Not,
don't
you
like
are,
either, but if I had to pick between one or the other,
You are definitely
So
not feeling
Bride
well.
of Slender says, "Do you know how much cool stuff you can get for $500? I can get a week and a half of groceries."
I don't think that you can get a trip to Vegas for $500.
You could
I
get
might buy you a plane ticket.
Yeah, so that's Brahma had said just that you can stay in the hotel room. Apparently, Brahma doesn't like to sleep alone, but I thought his wife was.
He
going.
doesn't.
He likes to cuddle.
Yeah, Matt is like, I was the little spoon.
What? No.
Dude, everybody wants to be the little spoon.
But if y'all want to come, Brahma's slave quarters, I'm sorry, guest house on Brahma Estate, it has a very comfortable couch and a bed.
And I'm informed that the hornet infestation has been recently resolved.
Oh, but I'm bringing my piece, though.
Your salt gun.
Hell yeah.
You talking about that salt gun, Mad? Maybe when I came across another game, another ghost hunting game, I was like, oh, Mad might actually like this one. It has a salt shotgun.
I'm listening.
It's true. Very supernatural style, that game. You got to fight the ghosts.
Actually, it's more Ghostbusters, really.
Who let Mads dress Pedro at Star Wars Con? Look it up, definitely. All right, I'm gonna look this up as
it was pretty bad. I saw a picture of it. I was like, who the fuck dressed this man, and why?
Have y'all watched The Last of Us season 2?
No.
Nope.
I haven't even played the first game, let alone watched any of it.
I never got through season 1. I was like, I hate this. I really hate this.
It was fine.
Oh my god. He looks like a pirate.
I found it.
Does anyone remember the Seinfeld bit?
I don't want to be a pirate. Matt, is that your look?
The pirate. That's
Matt,
the shirt.
What is
Matt,
he wearing?
is that your look?
Yeah, that's my look.
Yeah, but Pedro ain't pulling it.
Wait
off
a second.
Like you do,
Hold on. But he doesn't. Remember the little fancy pants that Mad has? That we
Oh, my athletic chic.
Yeah, athlete chic.
Pants for men who want to have times with other men.
I'm wearing them right now.
Pants for men who want to feel like they're not necessarily always men.
It's not like they're made by Lululemon.
Pants for Mad as he celebrates his 100 days of girlhood. That's funny. Oh man, Pedro. All right. There's the Rock had this problem for a few years too. The
Rock had an excuse though. He used to be a pro wrestler, and he was used to dressing flamboyantly.
I'm not talking about dressing. Okay, let me finish, Imp. I wasn't talking about.
Damn, Imp.
About like dressing gay, which he clearly
Imp doesn't like you talking about his boy The Rock like that,
right?
Yeah, what I was going to say was overexposure. There was like an 18-month period where The Rock seemed to have some kind of movie or television show every
month. Yeah,
because he had, what was the HBO show?
Ballers.
The Ballers,
which is actually really good.
Yeah, I actually like
few seasons.
Little Denzel was good in that one. That's like his peak.
Yeah.
And then he also had like a reality show where he was like training people.
And then he had the story of his childhood.
Yeah, he had the like Rock life story. He was in the Fighting with My Family, the Page biopic.
I did like Fighting with My Family. That was fun.
Which, by the way, I didn't realize that was Florence Pugh for the longest time. Anyway,
fishing boots.
Look up his pants. Apparently,
that's going to be an interesting.
Just as bad.
That's going to be an interesting Google search.
And maybe it's the shadow, the lighting in the picture, but is it just me, or does he look like he sweat right through the front of that shirt?
It does look discolored. Like he has like
it has
sweat.
a weird button, almost like they put the cufflinks on the chest.
Do you see how it? No, but it's part of the shirt. It has a layer of fabric on top of the pinstripe.
It's got the the Pirates of the Caribbean officer frill.
It's like distressed on purpose.
Yeah, like 3 months at sea.
It does look like it's wet, doesn't it?
There's so many jokes right there. Anyway, but yeah, but Pedro Pascal's doing the same thing. He's completely overexposed. He's in too much stuff. He's not likable. Like, he's a perfectly serviceable actor in in certain roles, but that doesn't make him the leading man who should be in everything. For instance, Gladiator 2, where he was in it like 7 minutes. It worked completely fine.
He actually did okay with his part.
Yeah, I just finished Narcos, and he was really good in Narcos.
He's not a great Joel, and he definitely shouldn't be Mr. Fantastic.
No. By the way, have y'all seen Narcos? It's on Netflix.
Like
it's
my kind of thing.
It's really good.
Is it about drug dealers?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not in for it then. Same reason I'll never play Schedule 1, even though it's like the most popular indie game out there right now.
Well, it's about the DEA taking down Pablo Escobar.
Yeah.
And then the Cali cartel. It's really good.
Now I'm more interested, but is it focused on the bad guys or the good guys?
The bad guys. It's Escobar. The famous story about Escobar. Remember when he had the soccer player killed, which was crazy. Did you know that story, right, Matt?
Yeah. What I was getting at though is every time I watch it, right, I'll be watching like the 3rd episode, and I'm like, shit, I think I know Spanish, right? And then as soon as I turn it off, I forget all of it. And I also learned that because I watched the ones that are in Mexico after the Colombia, I think that my Spanish is specifically Colombian Spanish. That's a fact.
Colombian Spanish.
Yep. Like Medellin.
All right, here's Pedro Pascal's IMDb. Let's just look in the last few years how much this effort's been in shit. Like,
so we might get to the pants at some point.
Yeah. All right, so starting in 2020, when he was the villain in Wonder Woman, he was in Book of Boba Fett. He did Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
That was good.
1984. I actually watched that and was like, this might be the worst. The worst fucking, what is it, DC? That's Wonder Woman's DC, right?
Yep.
Yeah. That might have been the worst DC movie of them all.
I'm not going to say Wonder Woman 1984 is the worst because it was the first time they let a woman director also completely write the movie herself and direct it herself without any help. But it might be. So Patty Jenkins, not so. Anyway, but yeah. So Unbearable. All right, this is good, Pedro.
Yep.
Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, when he was buttressing being a bookend for Nick Cage craziness. That works. Then we have more stuff that I didn't even see.
I saw most of the bubble. It sucked.
Yeah. Then The Mandalorian continued, and that he's a voiceover actor for that. We're not even. Freaky Tales didn't see, but look at all this stuff. Driveway Dolls, Uninvited, The Wild Robot, Gladiator 2, Last of Us continuing. I mean, he's in too much. In too much. And this is because for people who don't know, Pedro Pascal is a lot like Samuel L. Jackson, where he's been a working actor for a long time. I mean, he's been working in Hollywood since the late 90s. You just don't really realize that he was doing stuff on Buffy and other things just as like guest spot actor. And he was a struggling actor for a long time where he couldn't pay bills and had to like couch surf to live. So he's like Samuel L. Jackson, who had a similar experience when he was younger. So like when people offer him money to be in a movie, he's just like, do it, take it. You're going to pay me to do something, I will take it. He does everything basically that's offered to him and doesn't turn it all down. Because he's like, you never know when I won't be a working actor.
He's one of their favorites to go to nowadays to replace a, middle-aged white man. Whenever we got to replace a middle-aged white man, we hit him up.
Yeah, so here's where his upcoming stuff. He's currently like the new season of Last of Us, which has started. He's going to be in a movie, Eddington. The materials, the Fantastic Four first steps. They're shooting Avengers Doomsday right now. They just dropped the trailer for Mandalorian and Grogu, which is next year, along with Avengers Doomsday, where he's going to be Reed Richards. And then in 27,
the Fantastic Four, where they had, who was it? John Krasinski.
yeah, he played Reed Richards in the Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
movie.
they should have brought him back.
He's a working actor and he's committed to it. Good for him.
I was just watching the leak footage from the Mandalorian
Grogu. I mean, it's a movie version of the TV show. They've increased the budget. The movie's going to be about 90 minutes to 2 hours. They're going to put an entire season's budget into that time, and so it'll look a little better on the effects, especially they actually have Grogu walking.
Will it though?
No, I think they'll have better effects because
Disney's been struggling with their special effects lately.
Yeah.
Have you seen the female Silver Surfer?
Oh boy, that hair, that wasn't a good idea to have her have hair.
Bad.
Yo,
it's not like Disney can't do interesting stuff. I mean, have you seen like the special features for the Snow White that they're going to put out?
I mean, one could argue that Snow White was interesting. I thought we were talking about whether or not it's good.
No, but here, look at the effects they did for this one.
Want something other to eat?
Mm-hmm. Well, what would you like?
You got any biscuits for sale in there?
Well, no, this
All
here's
right.
cream. We don't serve biscuits.
I don't know. It makes
got
me
a lot
laugh
of
just
other
because I
stuff.
remember
What you
Sling
got?
Blade.
Sling Blade.
Well, we got
And Carl from Sling Blade always made me laugh anyway. So sorry. That was a side tangent. But I do have actually, what Slender's talking about, which is the female Silver Surfer. It is the effects. Yeah, you're right. It's Favreau that I trust more than Disney in general. But yeah, so this was the new version from that they just released the finished trailer for. And that one on the left is from 2007 for Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer in 2007. So we're talking 18 years difference.
The T-1000 from Terminator 2 looks better than that.
And this is going to sounds terrible, but Doug Jones had bigger pecs than this. All right, number one, the way they did the Silver Surfer in 2007, Doug Jones, who is the absolute best kind of like prosthetics, motion capture kind of actor, they had him in a silver bodysuit with like makeup, and then they filmed him with that, and then they used the CGI to make it the shiny silver and reflective silver.
Yeah, instead of like touch-ups,
instead of the matte. So they used it to do detail work, and he did the performance live in shot with people. And then they did, if you remember, they dubbed his voice, and it was Lawrence Fishburne as the voice. And he's got a very commanding voice. So it worked really well. The Silver Surfer was actually really well done in that movie. The Galactus part was pretty bad. The female Silver Surfer here looks terrible, like the slicked back hair. She doesn't like it. There's I don't like it.
It's not working. It's like of course everybody in X is having the meltdown. The war is on. I thought all the lefties went to Blue Sky, but I think they're all coming back now because I'm seeing more and more of them on these threads. But they're like, apparently you guys never read fucking comics. You know, of the 400 and something appearances of Silver Surfer, there were like 6 where it was a woman.
Like, okay, yeah. So
okay, sure.
What they're using is, and this is hilarious. They did a DEI kind of like female version of Silver Surfer that was not popular as an Elseworlds alternative / what if.
She was probably less qualified too, huh?
And it was supposed to be.
Did they lower the standard for her?
Yeah, a little bit. She was also from Shabala instead of Nor and Rad. It was the girl version. They did it like for a one-off, and then this is why they keep making the mistake. Like, people know who, like, Silver Surfer is a fairly well-known character. He had a video game, he had a cartoon, he was popular enough in the 90s to
I
get those
know
things.
of him and his purpose in the Marvel universe, but I don't think I've ever read a comic or watched an animated anything with Silver Surfer in it.
Well, I was never interested in Fantastic Four as, in general.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know. It's pointless. Like, you know why they did it, and it's just stupid.
Yeah, Fantastic Four are kind of one of those ones that like they got locked in time, right? Like in the 80s and then into the 90s when I was reading comics, I'd look at Fantastic Four and I'd be like, "Ugh, those are superheroes from the 70s. Boring."
Yeah, Vic Fontaine. All you know is that. And yeah, when they had Lawrence Fishburne delivering that line as the Silver Surfer, it was much more impactful than Diversity Surfer. Like,
I mean, if
you're
they're
on
gonna
your-
do Diversity Surfer, could they at least make her have, a little more than mosquito bites?
I mean, have you seen? And this is where it's funny because the female Silver Surfer in the comic books, when you look
She
at
was
the
probably a
image,
nice chesty lady, wasn't she?
she was indeed a nice, chesty lady. Let me get the image open, and then here you go. So this is the
Oh, yeah,
comic
I'd
book
read
version.
those.
This is what the comic book one looked like.
Yeah.
Long flowing hair and chesticles.
Dude,
Like
they
legit ones.
cut the budget on those things by about 75%.
They went from manga to I don't know, to what is it, Portland, women's studies major.
I mean, those are basically Kevin Smith's He-Man women at this point. Big shoulders, small chest.
Yeah. So it's which it's funny because Florence Pugh has the same body shape. It's weird. If anybody's seen Oppenheimer, they know what I'm talking about. It's an odd shape.
Like if
I'm
we're gonna
not a
do
fan.
female Silver Surfer, why couldn't we have that?
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
not
I
a
know
fan.
why we can't. She's too attractive, and we don't want that.
Yeah, Sydney Sweeney would have been the body type for the female Silver Surfer. But they didn't go with it. All right. I guess we'll get to some of the topics that we actually have in the agenda. Mad, I know we're waiting for your med, so you probably didn't get to go see Sinners, even though you were very excited for it.
I am excited to see it.
It is really good. I will tell you that it is. I think I'm really happy that there aren't more directors like Ryan Coogler working, because he actually knows. This is what's great about Sinners, right? You're like, oh, it's 2025. It's going to have a message. Ryan Coogler actually knows how to make a movie with a great story so he can weave in his narrative, the actual like agenda messages, but in a nice organic way where you're like, oh yeah, I kind of agree with it, because it's just organically in the movie and it's not beating your head over it.
Yeah.
And man, if they actually had more people like him, we'd been in trouble. But they don't. They have Coogler is probably one of the better directors working today.
I agree.
He seems to really like working with Michael B. Jordan. That's good for him. Michael B. Jordan is at his best with Coogler.
And Coogler is at his best when he's not being tied down by studios.
Yeah, I think the weakest movie Ryan Coogler has done was Wakanda Forever.
Yep.
And that was, I don't know if it was Coogler's choice, but I don't think it would have been Coogler's choice not to recast T'Challa. Maybe it was. I don't know exactly the details of that decision making, but there was so much stuff weighing him down in that movie that where Marvel gave him the checklist. Because if you look at the first Black Panther, it was pretty much free reign, right? He got to create Wakanda. He got to use Michael B. Jordan as Bushmaster and do the whole story. It was kind of standalone. Really had no involvement with any other Marvel stuff. And it worked really well. The second movie, when they're like, we want you to get Namor, and on all these other things, checking boxes. You need to put Ironheart in it. You need to do all these other things. It was weak.
At this point, if you go into production with Disney or you go into production with Amazon, like you joke, but they really are handing you a checklist. Like, these are all the things that need to be in your product. Like it's why I don't think Henry Cavill and Amazon are ever going to come to an agreement on the Warhammer 40K thing, because they're like, we want female Space Marines, and he's like, there's no.
So Eric in chat is saying that Marvel was the one who didn't want to recast T'Challa, and as a result, they had to redevelop the whole story for Wakanda Forever. That makes a lot of sense because it seems like I think Coogler kind of checked out. He's like, all right, fine. Here's all the checklist of the things I need to do. First Black Panther, but this movie, this is another one where last week we were looking at Warfare, where the critics and the audience actually agreed. And this is the same time. This is another one where the first time in a long time where the critics and the audience are agreeing. It's a solid movie.
We're getting so far off topic, but you've got me down the rabbit hole of Wakanda now. Didn't Killmonger survive the first movie?
No.
He got killed.
Yeah.
He got killed, but Shuri saw him in visions when she went to the ancestral land.
Okay.
When she was taking the heart-shaped herb.
I was going to say, because you could have just had that guy become Black Panther, and done the whole thing where like Killmonger saw the error of his ways and donned the mantle.
No, I guess. I think Michael B. Jordan's character was like, he was really good in that. I'm glad that
he was in Civil War. Yeah, I like that Black Panther. I don't know what the fuck happened when it came up to his own movie. I don't know who the hell that guy was.
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan was more compelling as an actor and screen presence in Wakanda and Black Panther than Chadwick Boseman was in that movie. Now, Chadwick Boseman, on the other hand, in Civil War, was a commanding screen presence that was, and like he held his own against Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans and all the like the Captain America and Iron Man, stuff. I think they wanted to build the lore, and I think the building of Wakanda. Plus, I want to say that Coogler seemed more interested in the philosophical debate as presented by Bushmaster.
Why do you keep calling him that?
Isn't that his name?
It's Killmonger.
Killmonger.
Yeah,
why am I thinking?
Killmonger.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking of? Moon Knight was the guy where Bushmaster. Killmonger. There's so many Marvel shows now.
This is so weird that we know comics better than you right now.
Well, Killmonger was a little later.
Oh, speaking of comic books, you guys finished Born Again?
What? The Daredevil?
Yeah.
No, I didn't even try it.
Watched every episode.
You sound super happy about it. It's Disney Plus now.
Oh, then I'm definitely not watching it.
What'd you think?
It was bad. In so many ways. Not good.
Now, I haven't seen this movie, and I am going to contribute very little from here on out for Sinners, but I will say I disagree with those ratings because they're higher than Warfare, and that's some bullshit.
Warfare is amazing, but Warfare is not necessarily a narrative. Warfare is an excellent authentic war experience. Sinners actually has more cinematic nature to it, so I don't know. That's kind of a personal preference kind of debate. Do you want your movie to be super accurate? Like if it's a war movie, do you want it to be super accurate to the point where they're taking time to police their gear and making people go back into rooms to get their bags?
I do. That's what I want. How about you, Mad?
I've done it.
I think your favorite movie is Hurt Locker, right?
It's super authentic.
I'm not even going to respond to this.
You would like Warfare, though, man. But I don't know if you should watch it.
Well,
in a theater with the sound mixing, it is going to give you it'll probably make you feel back somewhere.
It gets
mean-
real.
It's perfect too because on the 20th is the anniversary again. That's my alive day, so I should
That
go
is
see
true.
it on that day.
Oh yeah, make sure that Shredda is got like,
Survived
you
the
know,
explosion. Had a heart attack seeing something similar in the movies.
a Texas man ran screaming from a theater, and he was like Will Ferrell. I'm on fire. Put me out.
Why won't you put me out? Save
Help me,
me,
baby
Tom
Jesus.
Cruise.
Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby. All right, so Sinners is, and Michael B. Jordan plays twins in this movie, and he's just really good. He's like, he gives each of them their own nuances. It's really difficult to play, I think, two characters where effectively you're having to turn on and off like different parts of your personality while you're supposedly acting against yourself. So he's really good. There's this is definitely steeped in musical culture, both African and European. So if you're going to see it, expect, I think Coogler, I think his original background was in music videos. I want to say, do you know that, Matt? Does that
Nah, I don't know
sound
for
right?
sure, but that sounds right.
Yeah, so he mixes in a lot of that, I think, which is experience. It comes off really well. The actors are top notch. You got Delroy Lindo in addition to Michael B. Jordan. I mean, it's a really good movie. I think it is gory. It starts slow and then picks up as these kinds of movies do. They do a lot of establishing so that you know who the characters are and setting everything
Yeah,
in
that's
place. Which is, yeah, and this, it doesn't feel like any of it is wasted time. Everything pays off. Every time, every minute on screen you're doing something, it has a payoff later. There are mid-credit and end credit scenes that you can stay
What?
for. Yep.
Man, I kind of want to
So
go see it.
So if you're going to see it, make sure that if you want to, that you don't just get up and go.
Yeah.
Delroy Lindo is great. He's been around for a long time. He's a working character actor. He always elevates the material he's given. I think he should get more jobs. I'm a big supporter of, I don't know if are a fan too, but he's just great. I remember going back to the HBO movie where he played Satchel Paige, and he was so good in that, where it was about the Negro Leagues. And I think where focusing on Satchel Paige and Josh Gibson.
Oh yeah,
And
Delroy
Jackie Robinson.
Lindo is fucking phenomenal and everything.
Yeah, when he was in Get Shorty,
When he was in the core.
Yeah. And he always seems to bring, he's not just playing himself. He does actually take on characters, which is good. And sometimes character actors just seem like they're playing the same thing and they just get like Tom Sizemore is an example of that for me. Tom Sizemore was just cast Tom Sizemore. We want Tom Sizemore in this role. But Lindo, especially in this one, he's playing a kind of drunken old jazz blues guy, piano player. So, and he's really just leaning into the performance. So it's really well done. I think Coogler's done pretty much almost, aside from Wakanda Forever. I'm looking back, Creed was great. He's pretty good. I mean, I don't know if he's like, there's no director that's completely just, aces every time.
Yes, there is.
Are you about to say Antoine Fuqua?
No. He had Infinite
he's had misses too.
No, I'm talking about Craig S. Zoller. Bone Tomahawk, Dragged Across Concrete, Brawl in Cell Block 99.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And then you got what's his name? Did Nosferatu. Did The Witch,
that's right.
did The Lighthouse.
He did The Witch House, and he's also did The Northman.
Yep. Now those aren't for everyone, but I liked all of them. Nosferatu I thought was as weak as actually, but I still enjoyed it.
I actually blame Lily Rose Depp for that.
Yep.
I think if they had gotten an actress of more skill in, because she had to carry so much with the performance, and she just wasn't
up to it.
She had the look, right? They cast her for the look. They wanted the wafy, pale girl.
Yeah, but she
didn't have the skills. I mean, that's where, you know what? I know he'd already worked with her, but I'm like, just cast Anna Taylor-Joy.
Yeah.
I know you had already you worked with her, and maybe after The Northman you didn't want to do it again, but she's the kind of actress who could have done that performance. But I definitely loved Sinners. I think it was great. It's kind of a Southern Gothic, like horror vampire movie. I mean, you can, if you know that genre, you know what you're getting.
Sold.
Yep. My favorite Delroy Lindo is The Chicago Code with Jennifer Beals. Good one. That's good. All right. I did also go see The Amateur.
Don't even know what that is.
That was the one with Rami Malek. It's part of the subgenre. He's the guy who played Freddie Mercury in the Queen movie.
Oh, okay.
If that actually, that's his main. He claimed
I know.
Fame.
Yeah,
he won
Pacific
the Oscar
Rim.
for it.
Not Pacific Rim. Sorry, the Pacific Band of Brothers.
I was about to say. I was like, he wasn't in Pacific Rim. Here, this one is part of. There's a very specific subgenre of action movie called Nerdy Man Gets Revenge action movie.
Oh yeah, I do remember this one coming out. I haven't seen much about it though. Was it any good?
It was actually pretty good. It fits right in there. If you've seen like the Law Abiding Citizen.
Yep.
What about
The Recruit?
The Recruit, like where you've got someone who's really not, he's not cut out for being an actual operator.
Mm-hmm.
So he has to figure out ways around it. In this case, his wife, this guy works for the CIA. He's like he's their head of IT, like deep IT stuff. His wife was on a business trip and she gets murdered. She gets murdered by terrorists. The CIA is not doing enough in his opinion. Yeah. And he's devastated. He's like a full-on autist, right? Like she was the only person who really got him. Like people who are like that don't form a lot of deep attachments. So he really was like destroyed when she dies. So he decides, within 4 hours of like really committing to it, because this happened in London, he knows like all 4 people who are involved, who they are, where they're at. He's like, I want you to train me to kill them. Yes.
Pause. You son of a bitch. I would have went and seen this. You were like, you want to go watch Sinners? And I'm like, no, pass. You didn't tell me you were going to see this movie.
This one was like this one I went to on getting laid off day. I decided it was like a 7:15 showing. I just kind of did the last minute. I was like, I think I want to just put my brain in neutral today.
Fine. I see how it is.
Yeah, Eric, he was in Mr. Roboto. Mr. Robot. I don't want to say. I think the song was Mr. Roboto. Mr. Robot, the one with Christian Slater, where he was also playing a nerded out IT guy who used his skills for bad things. In this case, he uses them for good things.
Necessarily a bad thing.
No, it's actually really entertaining. So he forces the CIA to give him training. He goes to Lawrence Fishburne, who's in this case, the old Salt, like the colonel who trains all the operators. And
I think typecasting is only bad for Jason Statham.
Yeah.
The man has acting chops and they just don't give a shit about those anymore.
So it was a good fun movie. I don't know that it's like, as you can see, the audience score higher than critic score. Shocking, right? I think if you go see it, you'd be happy, but I don't know if it's worth paying for if you don't have like the season pass. Because once it's on streaming, it'll be a good movie to watch on streaming. Go ahead.
I saw The Monkey.
That was right. Then that was the Monkey
Opened
Shines
up
remake.
My
right?
eyes, I saw the monkey.
No, it wasn't a Monkey Shine remake, was it?
Wasn't it like that was the name of it?
No.
Where it was the,
The Monkey Shine was entirely different. That was with the paraplegic that had the monkey that fell in love with him and wanted to bang him. He's like, I'm not gonna bang you, monkey.
Fuck.
I don't think that's what it was.
Yes, it was Monkey Shine.
1988 film.
You're definitely correct on the paraplegic thing, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But I'm not quite sure on the monkey.
The monkey fell in
one.
love with him because
What
that's
was the monkey trying to shine?
I'm
You know
right
what?
about this.
I
Ma- you
don't
know
want to
what?
leave. I don't want to leave a big blank space on that one. Okay, I made a funny joke. I expect someone to fucking laugh at this shit. I am not on top
He
of my
was trying
game.
to
I
shine-
don't feel very good. You're
He
laughing
was-
at my jokes, damn it! I don't care.
He was trying
Lower
to
your
shine.
expectations.
I'm about to give it to you. Oh, what was the monkey trying to shine? Trying to shine that limp dick.
Here,
Because
I
there's a paraplegic.
Yeah.
All right, you know what?
And
I
there's a
think
sex scene in it too. Where he's
You
just
know
like
what?
sucking on the titties.
So this is what threw me off because I remember in my head I'm remembering the like poster for Monkey Shines,
Yeah. Oh,
and
man,
wasn't
let me
it, isn't it the same toy that's in this one?
No, it's not a toy. It's a fucking monkey.
No,
Those
in the
things
new.
are nightmare fuel, though,
No,
aren't they?
in the movie Monkey Shine, this it's a monkey. It's a real monkey. It's his helper monkey because he's a paraplegic.
I know what I'm talking. All right, in the new movie
The
that
monkey,
you went saw.
yeah, this one's in the new one. Yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the reason I'm conflating them is because Monkey Shines. All I remembered of it was the poster.
Dude,
And it's the same
do yourself a
friggin-
favor. Watch the movie. It's bananas, man.
Mad sounds like he's describing an R-rated Mighty Joe Young.
Bro, I'm telling you, there's a sex scene, a paraplegic sex scene in this movie. So
All right,
it's
so was it-
crazy.
So how
Because
was
see, what happened was this scientist was like used brain carvings and injected into the monkey to make the monkey smarter. This is a
So I
real thing
looked
that
it
happened.
up. I googled it. I said, "Hey Google, does Monkey Shines have a sex scene?" First hit. One of the very few films depicting quadriplegic having sex. Producer Chris Evans said the oral sex scene between Kate McNeil and Jason Baggy should have been more explicit. We had a pretty raw scene of explicit sex, and George kept toning it down and toning it down.
Yeah, because that doesn't get released in major movie theaters in the United States.
Yeah, I think I make shit up,
Wow.
dude. I don't make this shit up. It's all real.
I trust you, Mad, but I have trust but verify.
Yeah,
have
I
to
got you.
verify.
Oh, that's hilarious.
'Cause it sounds so out of pocket.
It yes.
Anyway, so was the movie good? Worth it? What do you think?
No, come on, man. It's so bad. Oh, the monkey. Sorry, the new one is
one,
great. Yeah, I fucking loved it.
All right, I'm just gonna show.
It was like Final
your t-
Destination.
Do you see why seeing the two posters right after each other, I might have in my mind thought?
No,
they
I don't
were-
see.
That
The
one's
one-
not holding symbols.
Yeah, that's a
So-
drum, dummy.
And now that
Do all
lives
of those
Slender in
monkeys
your
look
search
alike to
history.
you?
Look at
Yeah,
that, Slender. Bride of
what the
Slender is
fuck, Chad?
concerned about your search history now.
Oh, dude.
I'm concerned about your monkeyisms.
Let's not talk about my search history.
You think
Oh,
all
what,
monkeys look alike?
No, I know that, for instance, in Any Which Way But Loose, that's an orangutan.
I mean, I don't know if you guys
Named
realize
Clyde.
this, but I stream with Mad twice a week. My search history has been dead for a long time. There are so many things I'm like, did this really happen? Is this really true?
By the way, that reminds me of it was several weeks back when I got Slender to fall down the rabbit hole of looking up Avril Lavigne being replaced by a body double.
Oh,
Totally believe it. That shit is real. Look at this photograph. Is apparently there's a much deeper
look at
meaning
this
to that song.
photograph.
I killed my wife and replaced her.
Yeah, that's why it makes him laugh. It's like, cause nobody fucking figured it out.
Funny. All right, so yeah, so this movie was good. It's on streaming now, right?
No, I rented
It's
it.
not. Oh, you rented it?
Yep.
I feel like it's going to be on which. Let me see which studio made it.
You can still rent it. I didn't even know that was a thing anymore.
I mean, if you want to see it, just let me know, man. I mean, Slender. You'll have options.
I want to see that other movie that you apparently went to see without me and didn't even invite me to go see, and then tried to get me to go watch a movie you knew I wouldn't like because it's not my kind of movie.
Okay, number one, Sinners was just a good movie.
Ah,
I know. So,
remember what you said? Oh yeah, that's probably not your kind of movie, huh?
oh, because it's got a lot of gore. I know you don't
Yeah,
you don't like gore.
I like tasteful gore.
Hold on, script doctor. I come in to say hi, and what do I hear? Mads talking about banging a monkey.
No.
Happy Easter, everyone.
Hold on.
I wish
that's
it was only that. I feel like it was way worse than that.
That's a misrepresentation of what was being said. The monkey wanted to bang him, but he wasn't gonna bang that monkey. He was a
But did he
paraplegic. He couldn't.
Did he shock the monkey?
I think he kills it by biting the monkey's neck.
At least he didn't
When
bite
they're
its dick
dancing.
off like that other guy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're dancing, the monkey and the guy, and he bites the neck.
Oh, so all right. So we've
That was tomorrow's teachings, by the way.
yeah, we've reviewed 3 movies so far. We've got Sinners, which is a high recommend, Amateur, which is a wait for streaming, and The Monkey, which Matt also would probably say wait for streaming.
Dude, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was kind of like Final Destination with the kills. Not for Slender, too gory.
Okay.
Oh, there's a new Final Destination coming out too.
Yeah. Did you see the trailer for him?
Which one was that one?
The trailer just dropped today. It's about it's banana looking.
Is it
Marlon
a major
Wayans
movie?
is in it. Yeah.
Oh, is it a funny one or is
No.
it
Jordan Peele had something to do with it.
Oh, I don't. Jordan Peele stuff is kind of weird.
I love his attempts. I like his
Jordan Peele
vibes.
Stuff, always the stuff that is incredibly racist.
No, I thought that
Wait, hold on. Let's talk
Good
about
that
the
no was a
inflection in the
question
no.
Yeah, I was gonna say. You said no, but I heard a yes.
Let's see.
subtext.
His first movie was Get Out,
Yeah.
which definitely had racial.
Oh, that was racist as fuck.
Then the next movie was Them, which
I
I,
didn't ever
think
see that one.
definitely had racial things going on. And the last one, that one was just weird because it was like with aliens.
Yeah, I like that one.
And a stunt show, like rodeo.
Yeah,
I
liked
don't know
it.
if there was racial things going on with that. It was kind of like once M. Night went and did Signs. He was just like, I'm just going to do aliens. We'll just do aliens.
Last one was Nope.
Yeah, that was the one with the aliens.
Oh, Nope. Yep, that was the one. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, with Keke Palmer. So, I mean, I think that one might have been the least racial.
I
don't
think
know.
he's
This
just a
guy hasn't
producer on this.
exactly-
Him.
This guy hasn't exactly established a track record of making things for me.
I think he's just a producer.
I do. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Some of the Key and Peele sketches still make me laugh.
Oh, of course, dude.
I like the athlete
Substitute
intros at the college football game.
One of my favorites probably the like, no, I'm the local one in this gang. that was my favorite.
Yeah. All right.
I shared the trailer to him in the Ascendant
the
Art.
private. Okay. I did want to. I'm gonna make Slender's day though, real quick. I'm gonna show him a photo that was just taken in the Oval Office recently.
Yeah, look at this photo.
I already know that photo.
You know this photo?
Yes, I do.
Who?
I already saw it on X because they did the White House put out White House Crashers, and they zoomed it in on just Vince Vaughn and Donald Trump. And this is why I said I think all the lefties are coming back, because man, are people angry about the fact that Vince Vaughn went to the White House to meet Donald Trump. And I'm just like, that's my boy right there.
Did you like his what was the monkey?
Bad Monkey? Bad
Yeah,
Monkey.
yeah.
Yeah,
Amazing.
that was a good show.
Yeah.
I hope we
love
get a
it.
second season on it. I don't know why
God, I
Apple's
hope
sleeping
so.
on not renewing it.
I would have given that a second season before I gave Severance a second season.
We haven't talked about it, but we will.
Hold on, Soul Assassin. The Key and Peele urban Hogwarts sketch is the show we need. Yes, that would be where the Snape casting made sense.
I don't know if we're ever going to talk about it, but Matt apparently wants to talk about it at some point. Spoiler alert,
because you're
me
wrong.
and Matt drastically disagree on season 2 of Severance.
Let's go into it then. I mean,
well, okay. So what bothered me the most about what he said, Slender being him, is that he already knew all of the reveals, or he didn't learn anything new, which is just wrong.
I told you everything that I guessed, and it all turned out to be true.
I didn't read all that shit. You know how much you wrote me?
there was a lot going on there. All right, so is Severance, all right, real quick, Slender, is Severance like those other shows where nothing actually happens?
No.
Season
I
1
I
is
asked
not.
Slender, not Matt.
Yeah, but he's
Season
not going to
1
answer honestly.
Season 1 is not. Season 2 answers a lot of questions
Yep.
in the last episode and the first episode, and spins its tires for the entire rest of the fucking season.
I don't entirely disagree with that. But I thought the finale was fantastic. I thought they knocked it out of the park with that one.
Here's the thing. I'm not going to say that it wasn't well presented. I hated the direction they decided to take it. So was it a bad last episode? From a technical standpoint, no. But it didn't pay off for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You wanted something different, and so you're misjudging the show because it didn't do what you wanted it to do.
Bride of
I'm
Slender
not
says season
misjudging
2.
the show.
Hold on, Bride of Slender says season 2 nothing happens.
Not
Yeah.
true.
It's so true. If you watch everything but the very last episode of season 2, what would you say?
Oh boy, I can't wait until I see the last episode of season 2.
No, you'd say, man, nothing has happened.
I don't think I would.
I think you would.
Things happened.
I think until the 2 last episodes of the season, you were in direct agreement with me on all the dumb shit they were doing and how it made no sense and
They
didn't fucking.
they nailed the landing.
Did they?
Yeah.
They didn't explain how anything in season 2 happened. They just finally resolved the thread that they established at the end of season 1, and they resolved it in the worst possible fucking way.
So Eric says that he probably said this before. I feel bad for the actor because the only thing I see him is the Parks and Rec guy who making the cones of Dunshire.
Dude, the only thing I see him as is the really, really rude demon in The Good Place.
I just remember
yeah.
him from Step Brothers, where he was Will Ferrell's dick brother.
Also,
Yeah.
he did a really good job in the Krampus movies, though.
Oh yeah, it did.
Oh, whatever. I saw the Krampus movie.
I like Krampus. It was good.
It was fine.
See, you
I mean,
and I
it's-
disagree on that one. I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. It's not a repeat every year movie.
It is if you live in this house.
Well, apparently something happens in Krampus, so it's okay.
Oh, didn't mean to do that because he's wrong.
All right, so here's the question, Slender. After having seen season 2, even because you loved season 1, don't rotate him down.
What?
You
What?
rotating me down?
He has said things. Never mind the fact that he can just move himself to wherever he wants to be.
Yeah, that's true. All right, having seen season 1, which you liked, and having your issues with season 2, is it still worth watching Severance? Because I haven't
Absolutely.
watched any of it yet. I said Slender.
But he's going to answer incorrectly.
I don't know what he'll
I'm
answer.
I'm gonna say it's still worth watching. It is still worth watching, and as I said, maybe you'll disagree with me on the ending, but the more I try and digest it, break it down, I'm just like, so the ending is everybody died.
No, that's not the ending.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Not the
they
ending.
Fucking Thelma and Louise down
No,
the
they
hallway.
did not. First of all, it's sweet that they
It's sweet that he left his wife for the woman he barely
That's not
knew.
his wife. You're an Audi, bro. That I knew it. You're such an Audi. Innies have just as much right to live as Audis. We're losing fucking viewers as we're yelling about this.
I don't know. I hated the way they ended it. And I don't think it's going to get a third season because there's really no way that they don't all die at the hands of the evil corporation.
Oh my
I thought it was already renewed.
Yeah, it is.
They're doing another season?
Of course they are, because it's amazing.
How the fuck are they going to explain that?
Well, you have to wait and find out.
I guess so.
Yeah, it's already been renewed for a third season. They just haven't announced when it's going to premiere.
By the way, Yellow Jackets fucking sucked.
Haven't seen that.
The first season was promising.
Yeah.
And, you know, Shredda loved it because of all the eating people parts.
I mean, she's ready to eat you 3 minutes into a bad situation. Like, Matt, we're at the restaurant and the breadsticks haven't come. I think it's time for you to understand that you need to just sacrifice yourself.
I went in there earlier. She's like, I'm watching this video about this guy, this gay lover who ate his, this guy who ate his gay lover whose name was Kevin Richard Bacon. So Kevin Dick Bacon got eaten.
It's Davina. It's Davina.
What viewer? She's being insulted. Well, no, she came in, said nice things like Happy Easter. Then what viewers?
Noted.
Ooh, somebody just
my
made the
culture
list.
calls her Davinia.
Oh, that's
Might have to pick up that habit.
Hey,
Get me.
Did you see the what? All right. The what got announced today? Slender.
Nope. Oh,
the
Jesus! Don't talk to anybody else.
Well, I'm the co-host.
The Switch pricing has been finalized.
Oh, I can see why you did not address this to me.
Yeah, we'll do this real quick before because Mobland we get very involved and it's fun to talk about, so it's a good.
Yeah, so the prices haven't changed.
Well, some have changed, but not the main hardware.
No, we're not talking belly buttons. I'll be back.
Okay. All right.
They're still charging $80 for Mario Kart World.
So that's not changed. Donkey Kong Bonanza's not changed. What has changed is the peripherals have gone up. That's where they're, and like I kind of mentioned, they're not going to change the hardware prices because they were already getting flack for it. They weren't going to raise that, but they are doing adjustments on the peripherals due to the tariffs, quote unquote.
Well, I mean, I guess people can be pissed about this, but Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller, $85. Okay. Hold on. Stand by.
Are you looking what a Switch Pro controller currently costs?
An Xbox Elite Series 2 core wireless gaming controller, or their Pro controller, $144.99.
Here's the thing about the Switch one. That's just their normal controller.
Their normal controller is the Joy-Con.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that.
That is PlayStation DualSense Edge wireless controller, $200.
It's not like it's a premium controller though for the Switch.
What makes a controller premium?
I don't know either, but it's not the same. It's a good controller, but it's not the same as the Xbox Elite controller or anything like that. It's their bog standard controller that isn't Joy-Cons.
Okay. I mean,
so comparing the Switch 2 controller to the Xbox Elite controller, bad framing.
Is it?
Yes. Two different products. There is no Elite Switch 2 controller, so to speak. That's the only
regular Xbox controller costs $60.
So Eric says that the Helldivers 2
themed controllers have a tendency to be more.
Yeah.
But that's a themed controller, not a basic one.
The basic one is the Joy-Con.
Right.
Which,
comes
by the
with-
way,
You are just trying to find any possible excuse to leverage your Nintendo hate right now.
no, you're being disingenuous with your framing.
Why am I being disingenuous with my framing? Does
Is
the
there a
does the
equivalent?
Nintendo Switch 2 not come with a controller?
all right. So Eric is saying, and this is, I think, what Imp is getting at. A Pro controller typically has custom hotkeys, and a beefier.
Usually has the underside paddles, etc., etc., etc.
So the Nintendo
There's nothing special
Pro
about the
control.
Switch controller. They call it Pro, but it doesn't have any of the quote unquote Pro features. It's like buying a standard PlayStation or Xbox controller. That's why I'm saying now if you were comparing it to the normal DualSense, whatever the fuck they call it now, or the Xbox controller, I wouldn't be saying what I'm saying, but you specifically went for the Elite.
Hey, does your Xbox or your PlayStation controller have built-in motion sensors?
PlayStation does.
Can you put it on the desk and use it as a mouse?
No, and why would I want to?
Well, you can with these controllers. The point is, you don't know what tech goes into a Pro controller for the Nintendo Switch. You're just like, well, it's not priced exactly the same as the superior PlayStation and Xbox controllers, so it's too expensive. Like,
going with Nintendo's
don't
track
fucking
record,
care.
how useful are some of those gimmicks going to be?
It's not a matter of how useful it are. It's a matter of how expensive is the tech to incorporate into the controller.
Divinity over here, you could buy the Probe controller, but it's NSFW. Now Eric points out that the standard PS5 controller and also the standard Xbox controller can also be used on PC. I don't think
I didn't say can you put it on your desk and use it as a mouse for those controllers.
I don't think that the Nintendo Pro controller is going to be PC compatible.
It might be, but there might be some finagling you have to do, kind of like how you used to have to for PlayStation controllers.
Yeah, I would never use a Nintendo Switch controller for my computer. I have a 1799 Logitech F310. It fucking works. I don't care.
The wrong things are vibrating. Oh no. The Slender is rocking the same control that brought the people down to the Titanic.
Yeah.
So
it shows in his
gameplay. As long as I don't take that thing down to fucking 20,000 fathoms, I'm good.
Okay, so we need to get you out of the captainship of when we play We Must Go Deeper.
No,
is what you're saying.
No, I don't use the controller for that game.
I'm going to agree with Eric on this one. When the Nintendo people showed that you could use the Joy-Cons in a mouse mode, I get that. Yeah, it's cool that it's something they built in, but I would absolutely never use that feature. So
that's what everybody said about the motion controls for the Nintendo Wii, and then suddenly that became the best-selling console of all time. So
yes, because they forced it on 80% of the games. You're going to kind of have to use motion controls when that's the only way to play the game.
And what people?
I do not feel good enough to have this conversation with you. You're just like, well, what do I care if it's in the game? Then don't buy the fucking console. Stop bitching about the price if you're not even going to play the games because you don't care about those features.
So Jeff Pearson over on Rumble says, I still use the trackball. And the thing that people like with the motion controls,
I'm never going to buy a Nintendo, but fuck Nintendo for these prices.
I have a Switch sitting right next to me, Slender.
Ooh, closet case self-loather.
No, I'm just the one who pays attention.
I paid attention too. These prices all seem pretty in line with where I thought they'd end up.
And Imp, I think most of the motion control usage got done for was it Wii Sports, where people were playing the tennis games
for most of their games. Like you didn't have to use it in the Legend of Zelda games. There was an option to turn
yes, you did. No, you couldn't.
Yeah, no, you could turn it off.
Yeah,
maybe on Twilight Princess, but Skyward Sword, you couldn't.
Twilight Princess was built for the GameCube, so you could.
Which is probably why they had that.
Why
feature.
you could turn
Skyward
it off.
Sword, you could not turn them off. That was a lot of people's big gripe.
No, I think you can because I didn't like the motion control, so I got one of the Wii like Pro regular controls, and I remember using it with Skyward Sword because my wife really liked the motion control, so Skyward Sword became her favorite Zelda game because she liked using the motion controls, which I could give a rat's ass about. I didn't like them. So I think I remember using a regular control for that.
The Xbox Kinect that always watches you.
Yeah, the Wii had do you remember the regular Wii control that they had, the classic controller?
Yeah.
That's the one that's the one I used for Skyward Sword, and I remember it working just fine.
Yeah, I don't
'Cause
know.
I
These
like
prices, like I said, the dock, stupid expensive. I wouldn't want to pay that much for a dock.
Yeah, the Xbox Kinect, that was a
The
fun
all-in-one
noise.
carrying case. Fuck you, Nintendo.
All right, so on Eric, your question about that Samsung memory card specific, it's going to be specific for the Switch.
It's
Nintendo,
not any. It's not like a special size format. And so it's. I think it's still like a micro SD or SD card. It's just the actual formatting of it.
yeah, there's something
Data-wise.
proprietary.
It
Yeah,
has specific firmware.
yeah, there's something in its formatting because they said that the old Switch micro SD cards won't work on the Switch 2.
I think it might actually just be the sheer speed of them more than anything
Is
else.
it the speed? I know that
I think so.
I've seen people who bought cheap. Remember when phones used to have expandable memory, and
Yeah.
people would buy the cheap SD cards and not realize you needed a micro SD card that actually could handle that kind of speed, and it would just melt them.
But yeah, going down this list, the Switch 2, the price hasn't changed. That's what we expected it was going to end up being. They put it on hold for the fucking tariffs. It's still where it was. Mario Kart World, I haven't liked a Mario Kart since the Super Nintendo version. In my opinion, they have just progressively gotten worse and worse and worse every single iteration. To the point where your best move now is when everybody else flies off the line, just wait 5 seconds and then start. Donkey Kong Bonanza, I don't like the Donkey Kong games. I didn't like Donkey Kong Country back in the day. The weird 3D art style that they were trying to pull off there didn't work for me. I mean, I see no other games on this list. As it stands, I have no interest in getting a Nintendo Switch 2 right now.
I mean, Metroid Prime 4 is also coming to the Switch 1, I believe.
Hold on.
I just don't fucking care.
Slender,
Do I think the prices are high and do not warrant me purchasing one at this time? Yes. Do I think that like Nintendo is somehow being more evil than ever? No, this is just pretty in line with Nintendo and the rest of the games industry.
Well, yeah, and now they're also saying too. I saw an article headline that came out saying that they're hoping everything goes. The game industry is hoping that Switch 2 sales are good, so they can justify raising their prices.
Slender, I've got an alternative.
Say fuck it, dude. I'm just waiting for a crash. I want a crash more than anything. I want
I'm with you on
AAA
that.
to finally die, and AA and indie games can lead the way forward.
Slender, I've got this is a live alternative that summarizes Imp's argument along with a lot of people on X.
The Bears are who we thought they were. That's why we
Who
took the
we
damn
thought
field.
they were.
Now, if you want to crown them, then crown them. But they are who we thought they were. And we got them off the hook.
That game was, I thought for sure we'd lost that game. And then we come back in the final fucking quarter and just destroy them.
But that's a lot of games like people on like Twitter. You want to crown Nintendo? Crown them. He's like, but they are who we thought they were. They're going to raise the prices.
Again, I don't care if Nintendo's raising their prices. I'm more concerned about the knock-on effect.
Everybody was going to raise their prices.
Nintendo's, I keep telling you this, dude. These price jumps were coming regardless. Nintendo's just the first ones out the gate.
Right. And as I've also said, that because it's Nintendo coming out of the gate and being the ones that are doing it, if it floats, then other companies will step right up and do it themselves.
I hope they do. I hope they do. Fuck yeah. Accelerationist, man. I'm so black-pilled on the games industry of late. Like, I'm ready. Just burn it all down. We need to start fresh.
I don't disagree with you on that, but going this route is going to be a hell of a lot longer than for that to happen, in my opinion, I think.
Can we take a moment to acknowledge Slender technically just participated in a sports conversation? There's a couple.
I used to watch the Bears, so I watched football right up until the point when I decided, oh, the NFL hates me because I am a white male conservative. So I stopped watching probably 7-8 years ago.
Yeah, it's yes, so technically, yeah.
And yes, Soul, as it pertains to the gaming space, I do want chaos at this point. I am ready for Ubisoft to crash and burn. I think they'll be the first. I'm ready for Rockstar. I'm ready for Naughty Dog. I'm ready for Bethesda and everybody else, Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, Blizzard, Activision, all of them. They can all fucking burn. They haven't made good games. They've taken all the franchises I love the most, and they've fucking raped them to the point that they are no longer even recognizable as what I loved.
Well, you definitely know Blizzard's hurting right now, considering they're doing 2 different crossover events.
Oh, Blizzard is right on Ubisoft's coattails, I think.
They're doing a crossover with Berserk for Diablo 4. Which kind of piqued my interest. I'm like, well, at least they picked a game where it'll fit. And they're doing a Wing Gundam crossover with Overwatch.
Wait a second.
Yes, they're doing a Wing Gundam
Wing?
Yes.
Because
they were hitting the 20th or 30th anniversary of that show.
Yeah, but that would have been relevant like in 2001. Like,
here's the thing. You probably know this, Chad. When it comes to anniversaries, big ones for big franchises, the Japanese go nuts.
Wait, what are they crossing over Gundam with?
Overwatch.
Specifically Gundam Wing.
Does Overwatch even have a market in Japan anymore? I didn't think it was popular there. I thought it moved.
Again, they're doing an overseas blitz with the advertisement and the marketing for this anniversary because it's the only Gundam series to do as well as it did here. And Japan.
I guess it could fit in with Overwatch. You do have Diva, and she runs around in an exosuit.
Oh, me and my boss were talking about it today. He's like, I call it now. Mercy's getting the Gundam Wing skin.
Oh yeah, probably
because she already has wings.
Too bad I haven't played Overwatch since, well, the first Overwatch. Not that they made a new one or anything, but they did rebrand it as Overwatch 2.
And they're talking about rebranding it back.
To Overwatch?
Yes.
They should, considering they never made Overwatch 2 in the first fucking place.
Well, all the changes that they made going from 1 to 2, they're pretty much talking about reverting.
Yeah, they're trying to bring back, they already did bring back loot boxes, right?
Yeah, but not for sale. You can only get them by doing shit in game.
For now,
they went
until they find a loophole where they can use it to monetize their player base.
How? They can't.
I'll find a way.
Because Europe just cracked down even harder on microtransactions the past couple weeks.
I know Europe is pushing that bill through. We don't know if that bill will pass.
It probably will.
It probably will. Don't get me wrong.
Every other one has to now. Every change that Europe has made, game companies make as far as microtransactions in Europe, all of it has gone through. There's never been
Europe is what, the 3rd biggest market for games?
Maybe even 2nd in this day and age, if you want to count shit like FIFA.
If you count sports games, then
because most of EA's money was coming from microtransactions everywhere outside of the United States for FIFA. They were making billions per year on that.
You mean like the people who buy Madden every year in the US?
Way more so. Way more so.
Or people who have it gifted to them so they pretend they don't buy it every year?
Boy. Weirdly, when I left Overwatch, it was more on principle than anything.
when it got super gay?
It was actually when they announced that Soldier 76 was gay.
Yeah, super gay.
I was like, wait, you're trying to tell me that the character that was modeled after Clint Eastwood,
Well, yeah,
who
they got in trouble for
supposedly-
something and had to do something quick to distract from it.
the character who supposedly may have had an illegitimate love child with Anna by the name of Farah. Because you don't know if Farah's dad is Soldier 76 or Reaper or someone else. But then fuck all the backstory and lore that we've built. Soldier 76 is a dude banger.
Well, yeah, that was around the time when they were getting sued 8 Ways from Sunday for all sorts of shit.
Yeah, and a new gay character came out every single week in
Yeah,
Overwatch.
Yeah, they had to do something to distract from the bad press they were getting, and they figured the easiest way to do that was pull the rainbow card.
Soldier
All right.
76 wasn't even my main, but I was just like, okay, apparently everybody's going to be some fucking flavor of the rainbow at this point. Fuck this game. I'm done.
To address Mad's previous chat, I believe that the Giants are trying to get Dart by moving down in the draft, but that's just my thought. I think they're gonna, if they still stick with the 3rd spot, it'll be Hunter, if he's even there. But because the Browns could pull a rabbit out of the hat and go with picking him, but
unfortunately, I have not yet decided if EA is going to survive. I think they'll easily make it past 2030. They'll probably see 2035, but I just don't know with EA. I hate EA. I have a special place in the hell of my heart for
Same.
EA. They bought out Westwood Studios, the makers of Command and Conquer, and they destroyed that franchise.
Destroyed Origin Systems.
Yep.
The pile of dead studios underneath the EA banner is something to behold, especially when you go back and see what those places created.
Well, like Hello Games, the whole reason Hello Games was created was because what was the game? Bullets Black. It was a game that was made by a smaller company. They got bought out by EA, and the guy who started Hello Games and some of his friends, they were all getting absorbed into EA, and they were like, "Nah, brah, we're gonna go start our own studio. Fuck this shit." Hello Games is better known as the makers of No Man's Sky.
All right, everybody ready to get into the Mobland conversation?
Sure.
I just figured Mad's back, right, Mad?
Yeah, I'm back.
All right. So we're going to be reviewing. All right, so I think before we do the full breakdown, did anybody not like episode 3? I thought it was great.
I thought it was great.
It was meh.
Oh.
You thought it was meh?
It's a setup episode. There wasn't a whole lot going on, and
A setup episode.
yeah, it's a setup. You don't think that was a setup episode?
No.
You don't think the whole
I mean,
plan
every
of what
episode
they're
is a
trying to
setup
do?
episode.
You don't think the whole plan of what they're trying to do is about the dumbest fucking thing they could possibly choose to do, and will definitely and most certainly not work and blow up in their faces?
He told them that this was at worst going to buy us a little time, at best get us out of it. But he thought it was more likely not to work. He even said that he didn't think it would work, but it would at least buy us time to get.
Oh, I'll tell you one thing that would have worked. I don't know why they didn't do it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we're all waiting.
Just hand the kid over. Fuck
well,
they did. Did you? They handed the chest. The chest was there with the guy.
Not that kid.
Yeah, he's talking about
Eddie, or
Eddie, the family member that people love.
Yeah, the only
so
person.
Great.
But
yeah, go ahead.
No, yes, he's a piece of shit, but he's their piece of shit.
Like, yeah, the family can take him out, but no one else outside the family is allowed. I think that's the Pierce.
Dude, then
Pierce
take
Brosnan,
him out and turn over his corpse. Fuck it.
No.
Pierce Brosnan has made it very clear that he doesn't like Eddie at all.
Nobody likes Eddie.
Well, the
only grandma that Maeve likes.
Yeah, except
Eddie.
for the
but
weird
she's fucking bananas.
Yeah.
like I
She
said,
is.
I didn't think it was a bad episode, but I think it's setting up a bunch of shit, and I know he thought it would probably not work, but I'm like, why are you guys even trying? This is such a
Because they
stupid
don't want
fucking
Eddie to
plan.
be murdered.
Yes, they do. There's only one person who doesn't want Eddie to be murdered.
Yeah, but and it still looks bad though. If they
Yeah.
admit to Eddie being the one that killed him, that's gonna look bad.
I mean, the guy's gonna find out here shortly.
Maybe.
It seems like everyone else thinks he's an F up. He is an F.
Because he is a fuck up.
All right.
Everyone
let's
else
go.
is right. Grandma is wrong.
All right. So out of the 3 who watched it, Imp, you didn't watch it, right? Because you're
No.
out on.
Imp doesn't watch
So-
anything.
So 2 of us
I really don't.
say it was a fantastic
Mhm.
episode.
Mhm.
One of us says he thought it was just set up and spinning the wheels. But all right, so
okay, fucker. Don't you put words in my mouth. Did I say
Is that
spinning
not-
wheels?
that's kind of mad. Is that not what he implied? That it was just set up? Hey, 70s
setup
here.
is different than spinning wheels.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like this was all moving towards something, and I'm okay with
Okay.
that. It just, I didn't like the Hail Mary that they're throwing at the end. I thought it was. I expect more from this guy, considering all the incredibly smart shit he's done so far.
Oh, but
70s.
his movie Havoc's coming though.
70s. Did you watch Mobland?
I did. Episode
right.
3, absolutely, I did. Yes.
All right. What's your basic feeling on the episode before we do the breakdown? Did you like it? Did you think there was problems with it? What's your general sense of it?
I didn't. I've heard what you guys have said, but I didn't particularly think there was any problems with it. I enjoyed
Nope.
it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I enjoyed it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like I said, I didn't particularly think there were any problems with it either. I rate it, of the 3 that I've seen so far, the lowest. And I think the Hail Mary that they're attempting, where they kind of like, oh, we're threatening your family, but we're not really, because we're just trying to get you to take the fall for this kid. And as long as you can convince him, we'll take care of your family forever, even though there's no way for you to confirm that anyway. And this guy's inevitably just going to torture the shit out of you until you tell the truth, so it doesn't fucking matter. Like, I don't know. There's a better approach here.
Yeah, I did wonder if this other, if Tommy's father tortured him enough, if he would give up the fact that he's going.
Oh, he's
You know,
definitely going to give it up.
But then
That
again,
information is going to come to light.
Yeah, I mean, I think they had to try because he was going to be
Mm-hmm.
one way or another. There's going to be a war one way or another. This is the only slender chance of there not being a war if it succeeds.
I agree.
There's still going to be a war anyway.
I agree with
probably.
that. I don't know.
Yeah. They're buying time.
Really, the reason I'm probably the most annoyed is because I just want that little fucker to die.
He is. There has not been a. All right. So I give credit to the actor because he reminds me of the kid who played Joffrey.
He's
on
fucking
Game of
Joffrey.
Thrones.
He is the Joffrey of the show. He really is.
I really, if I ever meet him in real life, I want to tell him, like, look, I see you and I have such utter contempt for you, but it's not because I don't like you as a person. You were so good inhabiting the swarmy little shit that you played that you don't
Like, don't get me wrong.
asshole.
I still want to punch you in the throat right now.
But you're like
Good
you're
acting,
really
then, eh?
good.
Good
Yeah.
acting, yeah.
I know,
It's good
and by
acting.
all accounts, by the way, the kid who played Joffrey was apparently like the sweetest kid,
Yeah.
and was like nice to everybody, and it's like
Well,
for the
he
rest
has
of
to
his
be.
life. Yeah, you better. All right, so now let's get into we can do the full breakdown now. This is gonna be some fun stuff. All right, so this is skipping the like review that they do at the beginning. Our real opening shot is kind of zooming in on the neighborhood, and we see their house get blown up. Now this is the home. This is Eddie's home.
Mhm.
That's Kevin. Isn't
Yeah,
it Kevin's home?
Kevin. Yeah, well, Eddie lives there too. Kevin is
Oh,
the
yeah,
Eddie's
sorry.
father.
Yes, of course. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So
You're
I
right.
mean, I guess you're right. It is Kevin's home because later on that's a fun moment when he ends up confronting Eddie and was like,
That's
"You
right.
little shit! You're the reason our home is destroyed. The
That's
home."
right.
Wait,
Now
the,
he
the
does.
Joffrey actor retired and is now a dentist? I don't think I
Oh
could
my-
let that man stick
I'm
metal
sorry,
implements
imagine
in my
that.
teeth.
Imagine that being your dentist. That's right.
No way. That's
it'd be
right.
like
Is-
No.
it'd be like Steve Martin being your dentist. You know?
No.
No way.
That is incredible.
That would be hilarious. All right.
You don't
Anyways.
need any anesthetic for this. Just let me pull it out.
I would not trust him
No,
under
we can't.
like if I was under anesthesia.
He's gonna general anesthetic required for this one.
Yeah, no, you're not
Why
putting
is
me
there
under,
a
Joffrey.
crown and a crossbow on that desk over there? No, you're not
Right.
putting me under.
Those who don't pay their bills is like Lannisters always pay their debts.
He calls his drill the what is it? What did he call his fucking sword? The Widowmaker.
Widowmaker.
Yeah, he calls his drill the Widowmaker.
That's funny.
All right, so the beginning of the show, we get the house being bombed, and then we cut to Tom Hardy, who remember last week, the end of the show was him beating up the club manager and finding the body chopped up in the
Beating up the club manager was the best scene so far.
Yeah, and with another banger with was it another Offspring song?
I told
Not
Bride
Offspring.
too.
What's it called? Prodigy. Another Prodigy
I told
song.
Bride when we were watching it, I'm like, yeah, you're gonna finally get to see him go to 6th gear, and she's watching him beat the shit out of this guy, breaking bottles over his head, throwing empty glasses in the back of his dome, and she's like, I don't think that's 6th gear. That's like maybe 3rd gear.
What
I
the
was like,
hell?
holy shit! What do you think he does in 6th gear?
Man, Slender, you better watch out.
I know, right?
It's like Bride is gonna be. It's like I'm going to 6th gear. You're gonna be gone,
Dude. If Bride says the words "I'm going to 6th gear," I'm just the cartoon cloud, and there's a me-shaped hole in the wall, and I'm down the road. I'm gone.
So so he's still recovering from the late night. He's on his, just sleeping. He had the good sense not to wake his wife up by coming home too late. He gets word of the bombing, immediately comes in, tells his wife, like, we got to get you out of here. Which was a nice thing. Like, because she's like, what's going on? He's still trying to be nonchalant about it. Like,
see, for me, I would have said, hey, babe, I want you to stay here and don't go anywhere.
Yes.
It's amazing how, though, once she realized, oh, the shit's hitting the fan, she became a lot more compliant and agreeable than she's been the entire show so far.
I mean, let's be fair. She's probably all right so far.
Oh, that has nothing to do with my opinion on the show. That's actually
no,
a plus. The bitch finally realized her place.
It's like Slender's like the only note I would offer the writers of the script is she should have said, you want me to make you a sandwich before we go, because this is a hungry work. All right, so they're going to get cleared out. He's calling, we're doing a conference call with everybody about what's going on. The most interesting, I think, part that comes up in this sequence as they're leaving. Oh, so all right. So we get the more conversation between Pierce and Maeve.
Oh, dude, and he was so pussy whipped in that scene. She's like, "Who are you talking to? Put it on speaker. I want to hear it." It's like, what? You are not the head of this family. Like, he should have backhanded her and been like, "Get the fuck out of the room." Like, I'm so tired of her just basically like leading him around. Like, she is destroying the family. She is fucking destroying the family.
Yeah,
I'd slap her hard.
Yeah, so I don't know if you like
the
this
best
scene
right here.
I like this one, Matt. Did you like when he comes over and starts calling him out? Like, I know who you are. Like, And then he puts Pierce Brosnan on speaker on the phone.
Oh, and Pierce waits for that long silence, and then he's like, "In your own time, boys.
As in your own time." And yeah, so basically what Tom Hardy's doing as D'Souza is like making sure Conrad knows exactly who the boys at his place were. So that, and he tells him, you can even blow up my flat if you need to try to like say, show that you did something, but we're leaving. And if you mess with me, Conrad's going to kill you, your family's friends. Like, we're going to kill everybody.
If you have a goldfish, it's dead.
Oh, it was
especially the goldfish.
What was great. And Tom Hardy is the perfect actor for this kind of part because he's got such of that rage and intensity behind the eyes. Like,
he's really good at kind of doing the dead eyes. Like there is no emotion in his face when he does these, and it's perfect.
Yeah, he's delivering the lines like, I have absolutely no skin in this game. Like, even though it's his wife and daughter over there, he's so nonchalant about it. Like, look,
totally in control.
I'm just gonna take my family and leave. But if you do this, if this pops off, and I'll be gone, but you're going to die. Your whole family's going to die. And it's going to be a thing. How about we just don't? And I love the add-on of like, if you need to go up to my place and firebomb it, just, go ahead and do it. That's fine.
You need to torch my flat.
Yeah. Because I know Richie, and that's exactly, if you need to do this to keep Richie happy, it's almost like acknowledging that both these guys, like, they're both the mid-level fixer types for their boss. So he's like, I've got professional respect for the position you're in, so I'm not going to jam you up and keep you from doing nothing. Like, if you need to, go ahead and blow up my place. Just
I loved that scene last week when he was like, "Why don't you like me?" And he's like, I could fill a fucking book with the myriad reasons that I do not like you, but that's not what I'm here to talk about.
Oh yeah, Eclay's like, yeah, she kind of gave up on that marriage counseling hassle. Well, got other things to gotta work on.
Yeah, she gave up on that shit real quick.
Yeah, and then this is where Tom Hardy hands off that settles things. He then hands off his family to somebody, I guess a reporter, he said, or some kind of person who's not actually involved in the mob stuff, except that he has a gambling problem and owes a lot of money, so he owes them favors.
Yeah, he's a friend.
Yeah,
they don't call it a flat. I swear to God, they call it a flat.
It's a flat, yeah. We don't have apartments. It's a flat.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a term for something.
Oh, he said something else. Did he? Did he have another?
I could have sworn he said flat.
Yeah,
I thought he said flat.
I mean, semantics. He gave them permission to firebomb his residence.
Unless they're talking about going out to Conrad's, and then they always say out to the Cotswolds.
Yep. So you're right. This is where in the conversation, as Slender said, she's suddenly a lot more understanding about things.
Mm-hmm.
But on the same,
imminent poor guy who will do that.
That poor guy who got evicted from his house.
Yeah.
Like, is this going to be a problem? Well, actually, yeah, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, he's an old friend. He's an old mate.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing, even now, the one part where she does regress is, in spite of all this other stuff, he reminds her the maid has an appointment you need to go to about getting her mom into the old folks facility.
I mean, he handled that shit. He took care of it like a boss.
Yeah. And that's where I think shows you, I think he genuinely loves his wife, and that's going to be a through line in this show, is that he actually loves and respects the vows he made to his family.
I think it's the one thing that's keeping me in, because this isn't usually the kind of show that I go for. But he does seem to have that one redeeming quality that he's not letting go of.
Because I'm going to be honest, what's her name? Bella, Kevin's wife, is going so hard trying to get him.
She is like, so thirsty.
Dude, every time it's just her and him and nobody else, she's basically like, I could jump on your dick.
She's like culture on our show when the girl's in the chat.
What do I need? Oh, I need to jump on your dick. That's what I need.
I think Mad got that and thought it
Yeah,
was
I got
funny.
it. It was good.
Like next thing you know, she's gonna be like, "Hey, Mad, can I get Shredder's number? I'm just gonna chat with her. Hey, Slender, is Bride of Slender around?
Do you own a rabbit? Do you have a pet rabbit?
Yeah. So, but yeah. So I think, and because this is important for the family, he makes time for it. We get some. Then we get what Bella is up to, which is she is helping to do a sting on her father, who is a
This was
member of the
also
British
so
government.
dumb. Like, why did you do this?
She's trying to make her own money or get something, and it's gonna blow.
And
It's not.
why did she think that this wouldn't happen exactly the way that it did, though? Like, why did she think these people weren't gonna fucking double cross her?
Yeah. So this is gonna come. This is our through line with Bella, where by the end of the show, she has to ask Henry to help get this footage back.
Yeah, because she's trying to organize an out. Like, she's trying to find a way to get out, I think.
Yeah, but she wants out, but
she hates her husband, and it's not even that she wants out of the lifestyle. It's just that she wants to get away from her husband, not because he's bad to her or anything, but she just wants no love for him. Yeah.
That's the thing. That's what's the worst part is she wants out, but she wants to retain the lifestyle. So this was a scheme where by doing this, she was allegedly going to get money and get paid herself, so she could support herself in that lifestyle without having to be tied to the Harrigans. And obviously she has no love for Eddie. She clearly doesn't have.
No one does.
Yeah, Eddie is the worst. His own mother doesn't like him. Now it seems like we've gotten word that from when he was a child, Maeve basically moved her out of the scene and started raising him to be what in her mind is a true Harrigan.
I love the one daughter's line of like, "Yeah, you married into this family, and you want to talk about being a true Kerrigan."
True Harrigan.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
And then Maeve was like, 10 minutes in a bathroom doesn't make you a Harrigan. It was like, they do not like each other at all.
No.
So as Slender pointed out, as soon as this meeting was over, they double cross her, take the stuff, the footage, and leave her. And you can see from that look that she's like, oh shit. Now, everybody else saw this coming a mile away.
Yep.
But apparently
especially the guy who she always wants to jump on his dick.
Yep. But she's somehow fell for it because I think she was to use the Deadpool line, making an educated wish that this would work out. All right. Now this is the part where it was where we get the confrontation where Henry and Kevin bring Eddie in to see the club manager. And he tries to pretend
Eddie,
like
of course, handles this as poorly as you possibly could.
Yeah, like he pretends he doesn't know the manager, tries to act like it was all, he was not involved in any way.
I love that as soon as they brought him into the room, the first thing he does when he sees the guy is goes, "I have no idea who that is." And he's like, I didn't say you did.
Yeah, and then this is the part where, Kevin clearly just is done with his son. This is where he's talking about his home getting blown up.
Best part of the whole
like
fucking episode.
how much
I take it back. The conversation between the middle management guys at the car, that was good. This is my favorite part.
Do you have some internal part of you that really appreciates, like just going?
I just fucking hate Eddie.
Letting loose.
Fucking hate it.
All right, so what's really great about this scene is they get on the phone with Conrad, and Maeve grabs it from him immediately, gets it on speaker, and he tries to take it. He takes it back. He was ready to basically be done with Eddie. Just be done. And
he was ready to make the right choice.
Yeah, which is to give Eddie to Richie and let Richie do whatever he wants with him. That's at this point the only get right to avoid a full war that they could see would be they give back Richie's son, unfortunately as he is, and give them Eddie as the person who did it and say, eye for an eye, son for a son, grandson in this case. But Maeve's not having it because in Maeve's opinion, it seems like Maeve has some kind of grand scheme to want to take Richie's territory anyway. She didn't like having.
She's been moving the pieces into place to get this war started for a while, I think.
That's why she's like, just kill his wife. Like, whoa, hey, that puts you on the board. Yeah.
I've been on the board the whole time.
Oh, you've been on the board the whole time.
Yeah, and I can almost guarantee you, we're probably going to find out later that she put Eddie up to killing him in the first place.
Oh, probably. She's a scheming. She's Lady Macbeth. She's scheming.
All right, I still need to go.
Something you should have seen what I did when I was in Wyoming.
Nice 1923 reference. Good job. I still want to go back, but I feel like the illusion from when she was in there with Eddie is that she knew he killed the grandkid. I mean, the Richie's son, when she was talking about how it felt. Because we had some pushback where you guys said that wasn't what she was talking. I think she was because I think she is going to be revealed as the one who got.
Yeah, that's the other word for it. Gaff.
Gaff. That's it. Gaff. Yeah.
Is that an appropriate term for a home?
It's British slang for a flat.
Home. Well, no, it's just any home. Could be yeah.
Even one that's periwinkle blue is
blue.
Yeah. So
fuck do I want a caravan? Got no fucking wheels.
Leave it at.
The deal was your body high side.
So Maeve gets them to gets Conrad to basically give Eddie a reprieve. And that's now where we leave Henry and Kevin having to figure out some kind of plan to deal with what the fallout is going to be. Richie's already blown up Kevin's house, so Richie's put them on notice. He's done waiting, right? You give me my son back, or I'm going to go after all of you. And they know when they give Richie his son back.
I mean, he's been saying that for like 3 days now.
Yeah, well, he did start today by blowing up Kevin's home and sending people to Henry's house too. So I mean, I wouldn't just.
Blowing somebody's house up is.
That's not really a woo. Like, oh look, you blew up my house. I guess I should be worried.
If you put traps outside, it's a lot harder to blow up the house because you can't get to it. I'm just saying, like.
Okay.
Why I send you guys those maps before you come over.
All right, so then we get this weird conversation with Maeve and Conrad in the sauna.
I couldn't come without this whole scene because she is hideous.
I mean, she's like in their 80s.
I know, but like I don't want to see her.
I mean, you can, and this isn't Excalibur version of her, but it's fine. I think Conrad is starting to see. You can see from the look, like I don't know what I'm going to do with Maeve. I may need to kill my own wife.
He may need to take her off the board himself.
I think he may be early Alzheimer's.
Also, yeah, we've talked about that too.
It seemed like it in the first episode, not so much in the second. And now in the third, he just seems like a little bitch.
Yeah, so I do think there's definitely something where Maeve twists him and runs him, and we don't know exactly. But he can see he's clearly when he's in his rational mind is a little freaked out about it. All right, then Henry, in the middle of all of this going down, gets the call from his maid, and she's waiting at the old folks' home for the appointment they're supposed to have about trying to get her mom in.
Yeah. And I like the way he handled it. He's like, no, listen, I don't expect anything, but I got a guy for this. I got a guy for that.
Yeah, this is where they get in.
You tell them my name. They probably won't even charge you. They owe me a favor.
Yeah. They get into the old folks' home that apparently, again, this is socialized medicine, right? That has a 24-month waiting list to get people into this place.
Yeah, and if you miss your appointment, my assumption is you get put down at the back of the line again.
Mhm.
Yeah, so he does the smart, subtle thing. They, as they're at this appointment, one of the assistant workers comes in and talks about that they have plumbing issues. So he immediately gives the number of the plumber. He also says, "I noticed your windows got problems. Here's another person." You give them. You just mentioned that Harry, or Henry, or Harry, tell them to call, and they'll just come here. They won't even charge you. But I don't
He's
expect
really
anything
OCD
back.
about it. He'll probably
Yeah.
replace all these windows.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the part. Yeah, he gets the assistant, starts writing down the numbers, and on the way out, this is where we get an interesting moment. He sees a person, and it starts having a little bit of a flashback to being beaten as a
Yeah.
teenager. It
Yeah.
looks like this was one of the cops who did it, who's in the old folks home now.
You know what it reminded me of? Sleepers.
Sleepers. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if it necessarily stopped at beating either. It looked
Yeah,
like that cop may have been doing some other things too.
Well, that's why I think Sleepers. This is that look of I want to kill somebody who's an old man living in a retirement home.
Yeah.
Is
Dude,
usually
there was a
more
part later where I was like, "Oh, I think he's coming back to kill this guy."
Have you seen Sleepers?
Yes.
I have not.
Woody Allen.
I read
No.
The Count of Monte Cristo and I see words like revenge.
No, it was with Brad Pitt, a whole bunch of guys.
That's Sleepers. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
where
it was Jason. The two leads. It was Brad Pitt and Jason, the one who did Speed 2.
Yeah.
Were the two leads, but it had
Robert De Niro in it too.
Yes, De Niro, Dustin Hoffman. There's he was in ER at the time playing the paramedic, and he had like a
I know Burns.
Yeah, yep. Jonathan Tucker was in it. Billy Crudup. It was Jason
Kevin
Patrick.
Bacon's in it. Does he use a Georgia accent?
Oh God.
Oh, Ron Eldard. That was the name of the guy. Minnie Driver. Like this was. I used to play in college the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Mm-hmm.
And Sleepers was like, there were two movies that got everyone you needed. A Few Good Men and Sleepers got everybody connected to Kevin Bacon within 6 Degrees, because so many people were in those movies and the big ensemble cast. It was great. Sleepers
really
is
good
good.
movie.
Yeah, if you haven't watched it, Slender, it's
a tough watch though.
Yeah, it's a little disturbing. Like this
I'm
group
probably
of
not gonna
kids.
watch that. It sounds
the gr-
pretty.
Yeah, in Hell's Kitchen, this group of like 5 kids was playing a prank where they stole like a hot dog vendor's cart and they pushed it down like stairs going into a subway station, but they didn't realize the guy was on the stairs, so they accidentally killed someone.
Well, they weren't trying to push it down there. They were holding on to it. But they just couldn't hold on to it anymore.
Yeah, and so they get the book thrown at them, get sent to juvie, and Kevin Bacon is the head guard at the institution they get sent to, and he Catholic churches them often. I'm trying to think.
I don't know why you keep going down this road. I have picked up all the subtext of the things you're saying, and then you're like, you probably might not like that one. And I'm like, I might not like it. And then you're like, so let me explain everything about it.
But that's what they used to say. Why do you keep going down this road?
Well, I'm we have other people viewing and listening. I'm just
it's a really good movie. It's a tough watch. Like it's not one you're gonna be like, ooh, you know what I feel like watching today? Sleepers. It's not one of those, but it's worth watching once. I think the performances are excellent.
Yeah, this is
to
one.
Address a little bit of a more lighthearted note in the chat. Yes, I've watched Home Improvement again recently, and Home Improvement still holds up.
Yeah, Eric, it is still casually Brahma, but I like to do that when he's on the panel so he can feel uncomfortable about his name. He's currently in Las Vegas.
If you're in juvie, it's not casual anymore.
He's formally Brahmin. All right, so he sees the cop. That's going to be a thread I think we're going to pick up on later. We also see that he's being still trailed by the police, who are using him again. As we know from the second episode, the inspector's grand idea is if we just keep following around Harry, we're going to end up finding all the stuff because he's the guy who's the fixer and does everything.
Okay, more bad take Bojan lore. Quicksilver was the movie that made me hot for Kevin Bacon.
Oh boy,
That was the
isn't
one
that
where
the
he played,
bicycle one?
yeah, where he played the bicycle delivery guy. Apparently, that's interesting. I would not
That's the
have
wrong
guessed that.
movie. If you're gonna get hot for Kevin Bacon, it's got to be Tremors, right?
Oh, and the original writer just got the rights back to it and is going to be doing a Return to Temptation.
How many sequels of Tremors
Return
have
to
they
what?
done?
Temptation.
Yeah, Temptation, New Mexico. Wasn't it the town? The name
I
of the
thought it was
town? Where?
Perfection.
Oh, Perfection. You're right.
Same thing.
My bad. My bad.
Same thing.
I mean, it's a.
Well, I mean, temptation and perfection. While perfection can be tempting, I suppose.
Speaking of temptation, for people who pay attention to sports, poor Nico being tempted to leave Tennessee did not work out well for him.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. What can we? Oh, okay. Now I want to talk about the show again.
That one was for Mad to get him, because I know it is. All right, so this is now
idiot.
After coming back from the meeting at the old folks' home. Harry has come up with his plan, his Hail Mary.
It's a Hail Mary.
It is quite the Hail Mary, which even at this point, even Kevin's like, I don't know about this. We're putting this seems like it could not work out. And that's where Harry says, like, look, worst case scenario, it buys us more time to get ready so we need to get all our soldiers activated and called up and armed. Best case scenario, if they thread this needle with his plan, it works out and they're off the hook.
They're not threading this needle.
No, and that's where they have a good cop, bad cop meeting with the manager of the club, and the plan is they want the manager to say he, on his own, of his own volition, killed Richie's son, and in exchange for doing that, if he convinces Richie, the Harrigans will take care of his children in perpetuity.
Yep. Time to find out how much he likes those children.
Which they won't, because they're not gonna.
I think they will. I feel like they're a little bit more honorable than normal.
Do you?
Yeah.
How did this whole thing start again?
You can't.
Oh
put
no,
it on
that's about Eddie.
That's Eddie.
Yeah, that's Eddie.
Oh,
I think. All right,
it's not Eddie, a true Harrigan.
That's Maeve. Maeve and Eddie are the
Truest among all of you.
I think this is where I agree with Matt. If Harry's the one, if he's left, I think Harry would honor the terms. Like, if it works out, if it actually works, Harry
it's not
would.
Gonna.
I mean, all right. Here's where I thought it was.
I don't think they ever had any intention of killing his family. I think they're making that threat to get him to try and sell the story.
All right, so this is once we get to the end of the episode, I'm going to give you where I thought it was going as a way to make this plan work better for them, and you can tell me if my version might seem like it worked better, because it shifted from where I thought it was going to go. So that's their plan. Then we cut back, and this is the part that you were enjoying, Slender. This is where
I like her.
Yeah, Serafina.
She's fast climbing the ranks in one of my favorite characters.
Who?
Serafina. That's the illegitimate daughter.
It doesn't matter. Oh, it's one of the women. It's just one of the women. It doesn't matter.
It's just one of the women.
They're not important.
But she's a good-looking girl.
Yeah, so Serafina, as we found out, is the result of a 10-minute alleged by Maeve interlude with it, which we find out is not what happened. But she says that it was a 10-minute jaunt in a restroom with a dancer that resulted in her 9 months later.
Well, and she also she's basically like the legitimate front of the business, right?
She runs like a jewelry business.
She does like the money laundering, probably.
Yeah, I think she's the way they launder the money a lot, because jewelry and that kind of stuff is a great place to launder money. But it's a fun exchange where we've got Serafina facing off with the oldest son and Eddie, and then Maeve
And
shows
basically
up.
telling him he's a total fuck up.
Yeah, and then we get the face off with Maeve, who comes into the room drunk as a skunk, it seemed like, and is just wanting to heap praise on Eddie. She is talking about how Eddie is the truest of Harrigans, not like the rest of them. And that's the exchange Slender was talking about, where Serafina says that they all have Harrigan blood and Maeve is just there by marriage.
That's good. Yeah, it was a good one. Like
that was me that brought that up.
It's true though.
Was it?
It
All right,
was
cool.
Matt. That was Matt.
All right. Just like Slender said, it was that joke.
I guess that one goes to me, Matt. Thanks.
Damn it.
And that's where this is a nice moment too, where Conrad pulls Serafina aside and actually tells her that she is a real Harrigan. He does love her. She's his daughter, and they kind of have and they end up having a whole conversation about how he actually did seem to have a relationship with her mother. Maeve was not fond of it.
Of course.
That we find out that Maeve got was a shotgun wedding because he got her pregnant when she was like 16 or 17. And that it wasn't the dad who showed up with the shotgun, it was Maeve demanding that he marry her. So there's a lot of fun backstory we get. Then we cut back to more of Harry and very convincing, trying to be the manager to do this for them. I think I'm with Slender. I don't think he would. The plan is a Hail Mary, because when you hand this guy over to Richie, he's gonna get tortured. Yep. Like, why is he gonna hold out and not turn in the Harrigans? Their selling point is offering to take care of his kids forever. But do you believe him?
I do.
No, but do you believe him enough that they're gonna hold out and against torture? We cut back to Conrad and Serafina having their conversation. And then we get the part where Harry makes the call to Richie to tell him his son's dead. And
yeah,
that was hard.
It's not good.
And he just starts crying, and we know what's happening. This next part was a fun kind of exchange. They trade cars because Harry knows that he's being pursued by the police. So in order for him to do this plan, he has Kevin take his car and wear a hat to try to, so it looks like him driving.
That's a hell of a disguise, wearing a ball cap. Hell of a disguise. It worked, but
he was driving the car. If you think about it, they've got similar heights and builds. So,
when you're in a car, especially if you got like tinted windows, it's pretty hard to see who's in a car once it gets out there on the road and going.
Yeah, so the police starts tailing him. He's just driving around. He stops. He gets out, and he finally lets them know that it was all just a joke. They're messed. And then Harry goes and gives Richie the body and the manager. And this is the part where Richie basically dismisses Harry and says, I'm going to talk to him alone for a while, and we'll see what happens, because if he says something different than what you've told me, we're going to have a reckoning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and he already knows this is bullshit. You can tell. He already knows this is bullshit. He's like, there is more to the story they're not telling me, and I'm going to figure out what the fuck it is. This is not going to end well for them.
Well, this is getting to the part where Harry said at worst it would at least buy us some time, which is what it's going to do. He said he's going to talk to him overnight, and that's going to lead him to get some time. Now, this is the part where right before that, the police got a call about
Archie.
about Archie, right? Which is the guy
Who's calling them? Yeah.
who Conrad shot in the first episode because they've been looking for Archie and no one's found him.
Oh, that shit was. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so all right, so this is where all right, so now we're at the point where I can tell you what I thought was going to be the twist on how Harry was going to make this work. Was that he would call the cops, give him the tip that Archie's body was with Richie, so that the cops would raid right after he turned him in. And that way this guy would get separated from Richie and not be tortured for the evening and then have him killed in custody.
The cops are going to have a hell of a time raiding that place. Considering there's a whole bunch of armed fucking gang members upstairs.
It's quite easy. They just get someone and pretend somebody inside posted a meme they didn't like, and they'll be there in numbers.
Well, that's the thing, though.
That's true.
I don't know that they would shoot. Try to get into a shootout with the cops.
Look,
but that was
he's got a shooter.
Yeah. So that was what I thought would be the like twisty way to kind of get him away from Richie, so he didn't get tortured.
Well, that's why he kept sticking around. He was hoping that he'd kill him.
He would just kill him.
Yeah. Well, that's what that's another thing. I thought Harry would be sticking around to watch the cops, because when the call came in and they said they had a lead on Archie, I thought that was part of the plan. Was now they were going to sick the cops on Richie to get this guy. But I thought at least that was a twist I thought would have given them even more time, right? So Richie didn't get a chance to torture him all night.
How'd they find Archie, though?
Oh, somebody has to know.
Them. Yeah.
Someone within the organization is leaking. I think it's
Well,
Maeve.
and here's the problem with that.
Yeah, that's Maeve.
Here's the problem with that, though, right? I thought about that specifically, and I'm like, the only person he told about that was the lawyer.
Yeah, but no, that's the only person he told. Mm-hmm. But Conrad would have told Maeve.
Maybe?
Yeah, no, 100%.
I guess, but all I'm saying is the only thing we've seen is him telling the lawyer that exact story while they were in the car heading toward the Cotswolds.
Yeah, I think Maeve is the one who's leaking this information.
I think so. I don't know what her fucking
as part of her
here.
plan. She wants to put pressure to start the war.
She wants the war, yeah.
Because she wants the war, and
why? Is she bored?
So she can be in charge.
How does that further that effort?
Because she's a psycho hose beast.
But that more likely gets her husband in trouble and gets him out of the picture. So
that gets the husband.
The family.
She wants to run the whole thing because what she's going to do is, this is my thought, that she's like Lady Macbeth, except instead of her like just running it through her husband because he's not giving her enough room to run things, she's going to get everybody else.
He's not giving her enough cocaine.
She wants him out of the way. She's not a Harrigan. She's not a Harrigan.
Yeah, so she's going to get them all out of the way, and she's going to run things by running Eddie, because she runs Eddie.
Maybe. All I'm saying, though, is, like I said, as far as the way they've presented it cinematically, the only person he told that story was the lawyer.
Yes.
And I have no reason not to trust her, but we have seen him tell her directly that exact story. Now the cops know they found the body somehow.
Well, they also showed
might be a red herring.
The body away.
It could very well be the red herring, but
they showed him putting the body. Who was with him when it was Conrad, right? With him choosing to put him in.
I thought he was with his people, his crew.
Maybe. Who was because I thought Conrad. He said Conrad picked a woman who looked like his ex-wife, so that he'd be happy.
Maybe I don't remember that well. I just remember that he specifically told the lawyer girl about that.
Yeah. So the end of the episode, we have Harry showing up at Bella's hotel room, and this is where she asks for his help with the scheme she had against your dad, and then turns into
He didn't ask for his help with that. As soon as
did.
he walked through that door, she was like, now I'm going to tell you 15 different reasons that I should be allowed to jump on your dick.
Well, yeah, she immediately turns into thirsty culture. But the only thing that he actually agrees to do is help her with with that scheme. But she is look at that look, man. She is giving him the like, I am here and available.
Dude, she is giving him the please. I am so desperate for you to make the move right now. I'm begging you, do it. And he's just like, I'll take care of Antoine. And then he fucking leaves.
Yeah, which is why I like Harry, man. I think he's actually like this is some of the most yeah, he's a good dude.
It is his redeeming quality. He is you can constantly feel as though he's not a bad person because he does have that moral
he has a code.
And this is a very Guy Ritchie thing. His leads, if you go to The Gentleman,
they're usually good people doing bad work.
They do bad stuff, but they have lines, right? There's lines they don't cross. Mm-hmm. Like normally if they do really bad things, it's to really bad people who deserved it. And they do have some moral lines where they don't do things.
Well, like and he's always trying to give them that out too. Like even with the manager, he was like, I'm at first gear right now. You don't want to see me go to sixth.
Yeah, I mean, like if you go to Turkish and Snatch, he was like, he didn't want to be he didn't want to get into the fixing game. He wanted to just be legit. Nope. He got sucked in. And so when things go completely south, he's okay with it because it happens to bad guys. With Ray
takes a dive in my fights.
With The Gentleman, right? In the movie version, Charlie Hunnam, who played Ray, and Matthew McConaughey as the two like lead guys, they were trying to get out, right? They were like, we're going to be legitimate. And then when they got pushed, they fixed the problems, took care of everybody, including Hugh Grant and Henry Golding and all those guys. But it was because those guys had exposed themselves as being bad guys. So in a way, the like movie gives you permission to be okay with whatever happens to them. And that's what we're seeing with Harry, right? We've only seen him beat up the club manager, who was a bad guy.
I mean, just because he chopped that dude up?
Yeah. Should I call you Bullet? Tooth?
Bullet Tooth?
You can call me Susan if it makes you happy.
And
Evie, pull your socks up.
And then so we saw him intimidate the victim in the hospital, but he didn't actually do anything to him. And we saw him take out the people in the first episode, but we know those were all criminals who were doing bad things and were fighting with each other.
They were about to kill each other anyway. Yeah. So what do they care?
So rather than have a war in the Harrigan zone, we just eliminated those two guys who were the problem. So I think Harry's one of those unique Guy Ritchie characters where he's going to be within a code that we can still like him a lot as an audience. I don't know if they're going to ever play around with pushing him past that line. Like I would prefer that he never succumbs to Bella. I would think that at some point in the show they might have a thing where his wife thinks
it really would ruin his character if they did that, in my opinion.
Same.
Yeah. And Bella's a problem. And I can see, you know what? I actually sort of like Kevin, who is Eddie's dad.
Yeah, he's not bad. You feel
I really like him. Especially when he busted out that taser.
Yeah. I think that Maeve as the nurture problem for Eddie, and I think Bella is the genetic problem for Eddie. Like you're seeing the combination where those are the bad stuff going forward.
Yeah.
I don't like Bella. I hope something comes around to give her some comeuppance, but I think unfortunately Harry's gonna help her out and rescue her. So
he's a good dude.
Yeah, because he's a good dude. And I think that's where we leave things, except for the big reveal that the cops, that tip that they got was accurate. They
They found the
dug
body.
up they dug up the grave, and they found Archie with that big Desert Eagle wound, right entry wound right in the
I
chest.
love the way the woman was behind him, the old woman's
Yeah.
body. Just like it looks so good. It was framed so well that
Yeah, I
Like-
think let's.
if we had that would be awesome.
Yeah,
That's just so good. It's like something out of a horror movie.
yeah. So, what they're gonna do with this information? How much of a tip? Like, obviously, Archie was an known associate of the Harrigans. He's dead now. But they did. They made a point of showing they did a very big, thorough forensic cleanup.
They did, and the bullet went through because there was a hole in the floor behind him. So
That's a 50 caliber bullet. It was going through.
yeah, they're not gonna be able to match anything back to the gun necessarily.
As long as they were, I think it made it for as thorough as they were.
I'm correct on that, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have the bullet, you don't have what you would need to
The
match.
gun's probably
gun.
gone
Yeah.
anyway now.
Yeah, because of the rifling, like you can't match it.
Yeah.
You'd have to.
You
Yeah,
can't
so
match it to the hole in somebody's chest
Yeah.
All they'd be able to say is that it was done with this caliber size round.
with a 50 cal or a
And
not 50
this
cal,
is-
Desert
and-
Eagle.
And if they got the gun, they'd say like they're similar. That this is the same caliber. It's circumstantial
All
evidence.
the
not correct.
Harrigans need to say is that, well, we didn't do it, our enemies did it.
Yeah, so that's. I mean, they're not gonna. That's where I'm saying they're not gonna find any forensics. They completely replaced the floorboards. You saw him with the UV light, like he was Slender playing Phasmophobia.
Dude, he was
looking-
checking curtains. He was
Checking
like, oh, he was sitting
everything.
here. Let me check that too.
Yeah, look, I need my hardwood guy. We need to match it. And now you
Ain't
realize,
hardwood back here because there's a fucking hole in the floor.
and it's a nice thing where it ties together. Like, why did he have all these numbers for these general contractors? Oh, now we get it. He's
Yeah.
had to, like, depending on the circumstance, he might have to replace piping, might have
Mhm.
to replace all this stuff. So it was a good episode. I think Mad and 70s, I saw a lot of forward momentum with
Yeah, I
new
did.
things happening. I know Slender thought this was more set up for things to come, but I think, yes, it sets up more stuff, but a lot did happen in the episode.
There were good things happening, and I mean, I will clarify. When I say meh, I'm just saying of the 3 episodes thus far, I found this one to be the least compelling.
I just like the
And that's
character
fine.
work.
That's
I
fine.
like seeing. For me, I like this was a lot of there was a lot of range in what Tom Hardy was doing as Harry
A lot
in
of
this
depth.
episode,
Yep. A lot of depth.
where like shifting real quick to talking to the old folks manager, then going back into game face mode, then seeing the dude who sleepered him when he was younger and having that like whole thing. The range, I like. Tom Hardy is obviously the one carrying the show. He's the main lead, so giving him a lot of range within the episode was good. What do you think?
I mean,
Matt?
he's got
I
a
agree.
lot of backup. Like, don't get me wrong. Yes, Tom Hardy is carrying the show as he is the protagonist, but don't act like there aren't a whole lot of other good actors in this shit.
Oh no, this
Oh,
show
of
is
course.
like great. Pierce Brosnan did really well this episode. I still want to know. I still think there's inclination that he's like early onset dementia kind of
Yep.
thing, but this episode might have been his coherent day. I don't know.
Right. Most of it took place early in the morning.
Yeah, that's true. He didn't sundown, which I think also lends itself to as a hardcore kind of mob guy. It was kind of weird that he immediately like talked to his daughter to make sure she knew how much she loved her, how he considered her part of the family, et cetera, et cetera. Unless you're a guy who knows that you've got dementia issues and things like that, and you're trying to make sure that nothing gets left unsaid.
And well, even beyond that, though, he is older as well. And when people get old, they start to like soften up a little bit. You know what I mean?
No,
That's
not me.
true.
I don't.
Maybe Maeve didn't. She's
They make a little blue
I
pill
mean,
for
men.
that, Matt, if you're running into that issue.
It's Mad's right. You do, especially as a father and a grandfather.
See,
Shifty says we should review this and all 3 episodes of the Return of the Best Show on Television next week. Andor.
Nah.
I'm good with sticking
What?
with
No, good.
Mobland.
Yeah, I don't.
I never
I-
got through
shit.
the.
Is
third
that an
episode.
and or a question?
Star Wars is dead.
I still say I think I'd mentioned Guy Ritchie's found his calling, which is
Yep.
doing television. Longer form crime drama type shows fit him perfect. This is
Absolutely.
where he should be moving. I know movies are kind of the higher prestige,
Mm-hmm.
but this stuff works for Guy Ritchie's writing style so much better. Like even where you see something like The Gentleman, where you got and I really liked the movie,
I did too.
but the television show gave it
Was
so much more
better.
room to breathe. He had more runway. It was better.
The only difference I see between what he does on television and his movies is that it seems as though his TV is less stylized, and I think that may have to do with something because he's not the primary director. He's the
for every
showrunner,
episode.
right? So it doesn't have all the Richie-isms.
I kind of am okay with
Is
that
she
though.
And I'm
messing
fine with it,
me
yeah.
Right now.
What?
It ain't dead. It was dead in the mid 80s to late 90s. I don't know. Talking about Star Wars? I don't know.
Well, the late '90s is when the prequel trilogy happened.
He said it was dead in
the 2000s.
So he said it was dead mid 80s too. So from Jedi to the prequels, it was dead, is what he's saying.
I don't. No, not the IP though, because I mean, people
No,
will
I
buy
thought
it.
the prequels were pretty. Like I said,
Well,
every
they're
prequel
better
had
now.
problems. They're better now by comparison, for sure.
But I meant
every
the IP
single
in
prequel
general.
episode also had some redeeming quality to it.
I mean,
Like,
Heir to the Empire book series came out, was huge.
The toys, the
Dark Force. What was the one with Dash Rendar? Where
Shadows
they
of
did
the Empire.
Shadows of the Empire. The video game was huge.
Between episodes 7, 8, and 9, what the fuck was the one with the space witches?
No, that was the Acolyte.
The Acolyte?
The Acolyte.
The Power of Many.
The Ahsoka spinoff that they tried to make. Mandalorian, which is just steadily getting more and more to be look at the cute little fucking merchandise. Like, no, Star Wars is dead. It's been dead for a long time. Disney got their filthy little mitts on it. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me. And I will say this. There were parts of Rogue One that I liked. But
Same.
Rogue One was a terrible fucking movie.
I don't want to say terrible.
It ain't
Like,
great.
should we do it like Charles Barkley? Terrible? Was it terrible? No, it was. It just.
I can't believe
prequels
that they
don't-
decided to do a show with Andor and not fucking the two Guardians of the Wills.
Oh, that's because Donnie Yoon has actually got like a career, so he's busy.
That's one
He's
of the
gonna.
things too, right? Like
He did all those Imp Man.
I love him in most of the movies I've seen him in, but there was no reason to put him in a Star Wars movie. There really
I
wasn't.
thought he was great in it. I would love to see just those two bros because they have such the juxtaposition between their two ideologies after the fall of the Jedi, where one like goes all the way into the Force and the other one stops believing, but they're still friends.
Yes,
And
but
just-
thanks to Acolyte, we know that if you go all the way into the Force, then you look a lot older and like you're wearing a fake beard, and you just float in the middle of a room and never eat or sleep or anything. And eventually you'll come back and drink poison.
But he didn't have Force powers though. He was his belief in it. I would have loved to have seen just a series of those two guys just broing out, hanging out,
But
we can't
and,
do that.
but this is kind of my point, right? Like when you take a good hard look at Rogue One,
Yeah, you do.
every single character is just comically archetypal. Like they're
That's not
not
always a
real
bad thing.
characters. They're just fucking jokes.
I mean, I will say that that's a Star Wars leaning into archetypal characters is not it's not new.
I get what you're saying, but I think Luke had a lot more depth.
There's the bros for you,
Solo
man.
had a lot of depth. The bros were cool.
Yeah.
Is that one of the wait? Is that one of the women from Ghostbusters at the back?
Yes.
Yeah.
But again, like Donnie Yen playing the blind samurai, I'm getting tired of that shit too.
Well, he's gonna direct and star in his own John Wick spinoff, so get ready for another one.
That could be pretty good though.
I'm tired of it. Well, that one sounds okay.
I mean, I'm tired of it. Don't get me wrong. But it's Donnie Yen. I can't hate him.
Oh shit, you had me at hello. Donnie Yen. All right, he's gonna.
Donnie Yen is like Chinese Brad Pitt.
I mean, Ip Man was some great movies over there, but
there's not just Ip Man. I mean, he was in some good, some of the Jet Li flicks, I believe. I think he was Sky in Hero.
Yes, Hero. Yeah, that's right.
He was really good in that.
I know this is going to sound sacrilege. I'm kind of done with John Wick. I don't.
Oh, absolutely.
I think.
Are you kidding me?
The fact that they're doing
was garbage.
They're doing number 5. They're doing the ballerina one. I'm
no interest in the ballerina.
The only John Wick thing that sounds appealing.
I'm only interested in ballerina because John Wick shows up again.
Yeah. No, is the only project out of all the John Wick ones that sounds good is the anime prequel they're gonna do with the guys who did Cowboy Bebop directing and creating it.
No,
which Cowboy Bebop?
The original Cowboy Bebop. It's an anime. It's an anime project. If you want, right now on Adult Swim, there is a anime that they have made, and it's being produced. It was produced by the same guys the John Wick guys, but they hired the creator of Cowboy Bebop. It's called Lazarus. And it's really good. The animation's top quality. I think this was a proof of concept. They wanted to make sure these guys still had it, because right after Lazarus premiered is where at CinemaCon they announced they're doing the anime prequel for John Wick, and it's going to be, in the first John Wick. Remember when he's like, to get out of being an assassin, he did the impossible task and got out, and that night is how our organization was built. The anime is going to do the impossible task storyline. Okay. And that's
I know Eric Myers. Yes, I know. I'm tired of it, but that one, it's a Donnie Yen thing. I've been a Donnie Yen fan since before he was doing American movies. And as far as John Wick becoming the new Fast and Furious, yeah, kind of. I think so.
It's spinning off franchises.
Well,
I still think
absurd.
The fourth one. It was the fourth one we watched last night. John Wick.
It.
I think it could have been good if they have edited
40 minutes shorter.
Like a lot, yeah.
They needed
too
40
fucking long.
40 minutes less stuff, and like some of the stuff. I know John Wick is the first John Wick was a little hyper real, like hyper reality, but wasn't like bullshit. Like when you see John Wick falling out of buildings and just getting up and like going, oh, and then walking.
By the way, he's still falling down those steps to this day.
Yeah, there's a little bit of power creep going on with John Wick.
Yeah,
and also everybody in the entire John Wick universe is a spy or a member of some organization. Everyone. There are no innocent bystanders.
I'm waiting for him to go full Austin Powers, and like a woman with a fucking stroller pulls up, and then the baby busts an Uzi out.
Yeah, like Danny DeVito. I'm fucking mini-me. Yeah, John and Keanu Reeves. I love Keanu, but he's talked about it. He's getting old and his knees are getting shot. He can't move as much anymore. And you can see it from John Wick, just even John Wick 1 to John Wick 4. You can see the knee problems getting worse and how he just doesn't move.
Yeah, he's 60 years old now.
Yeah.
Like,
conservatively.
He's almost as old as him.
Fuck off, you.
That was more or less a life check since we had.
I'm here. You guys are just talking about shit I don't care about, so I'm being quiet and letting you have your
time. Yeah, stop talking about life and things that bring joy. Talk about the darkness. That is my
Hello,
soul.
darkness, my old friend. I don't know.
Who's got things to plug before we wrap this thing up?
We're returning Tuesday with Matapep. I got to actually find some stories for your Chad to pick from, but it'll be at.
I still got one left.
But we did a lot of ours.
We've done a lot of Australian already too.
Well, that's because they sent the Irish there.
Well, there is that.
All right.
So that'll be Tuesday, 9:15 p.m. Central.
Trying to figure out how to do this. There we go. All right, now do it.
Who, me?
Yeah, I figured out how to do it. You can do your solo
9:15 p.m. Central.
On what channel?
Mad's new channel called Mad's New Channel.
There we go. And
that's it.
70s, what do you got?
At some point tomorrow, probably around about 2 p.m. Mountain Time, I think I'm going to set up a stream for Bourbon and Boarding fans of our Brahma and I's Bourbon and Boarding show, which is massively well received out there. So they can do a chat set of draft picks, picks for the playoffs, NHL playoff brackets. So that'll be something. I think 2 p.m. tomorrow. I'll set that up. Brahma's somewhere in Vegas with a stripper right now, so I can't get in touch.
You shouldn't talk about his wife that way. That's messed up.
So I'll probably be doing that, and then Monday on my channel, You're Off the Hook. We're just doing a gaming stream. So.
Until my work schedule sorts itself out, I don't know what shows I'm going to be on and when.
Yeah. Well, funnily enough, the movie we're doing something the following Monday. I just want to mention it briefly. They were doing an animated movie, which I don't know if anybody's ever seen, called Rock and Rule. Rock and Rule. The Canadian rock music, fantasy, science fiction animation.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah, so that's what we're talking about. Not this Monday coming, the next Monday. So it's quite
Is that
a good
like a
little
really
movie.
old cartoon?
Yeah, it's like 83 or something.
Like in the vein of heavy metal and all.
Yeah, it was just after heavy metal. I don't think it's quite as adult as that, but it's still pretty neat fantasy sci-fi thing with people like Iggy Pop and people like that are in it. So. Animation, it's Canadian animation.
I mean,
so anyway,
I won't hold that against it, but
does Canada have a proud animation tradition?
They do. These are the same guys that did all these Star Wars shows like Ewoks and stuff, the animations and all that stuff.
Canada's proud of all of their failures.
Yes, that's right. They failed upwards, these guys.
And America takes all of the ones that succeed.
Nice. Slender, do you have stuff to plug on our sister channels?
We got games on Ascendant Arcade. Last night we tried out the the Cursed Hollow event, which is the Easter event for Phasmophobia. It was glorious and wonderful. There's lots of rabbits and other stuff too that I don't care about, but lots of rabbits, so that's cool.
Wabbits, wascally wabbits.
Yeah, so we'll probably hit that up again. And there's plenty of other games in the pipe that we just haven't gotten around to yet. But Thursday night, if you don't see us at any other point in the week, Ascendant Arcade is usually live Thursday night around 10.
Although, yeah, this week it might be a little later because you know what opens this week, and I know it's one you actually wanted to see.
Accountant
2.
Yeah, I do want to see the Accountant.
I don't know, man. I saw something about a whole bunch of women in it.
There's one.
Women in it? You're kidding.
Like, no, there was some kind of featurette about the boss women in the Accountant 2. I'm like, oh boy.
Well, then we're gonna have to go find out.
I mean,
I'll
as
give it
far
an honest
as
assessment, I'm usually pretty good about it.
I mean, the advertising is pretty much shown. It's just the one girl, the district attorney.
There's the assassin one too. The one that's killing everybody is a chick.
Yeah, but if it's still Barenthal and Affleck being bros because they're actually brothers in the movie.
I'm just saying I'm just letting people know there's a suspicious amount of women in it.
Find out next.
A Mad Cavelli production. The stream's now behind, but there's no need to be glum. We'll return with more jests, with humor to come. So click that damn subscribe and let the good vibes thrive. For the next grand stream, we'll surely jive.
Ascend and I, we've charted the spree with synapses sparking, hilarity you can't believe.
You've brought your joy, so now you must go. But keep the party in your heart, yo. Keep the giggles, keep the banter, keep the screams delight. Until our next stream, keep the fun in sight. In this virtual voyage where streams do end, remember with Ascend and Art, we'll always fucking ascend. Oops, we forgot about Imp, he's bound to reappear. With chaos in his wake, all we can do is persevere. Are you happy now, Imp?